Okay, so now when I talk, it's working. Okay. I don't know why I keep having to do this. Mike, can you talk real quick? Can I? Damn it. You talked a second time and I couldn't fucking hear if it was working.
I'm real tired of this not being funny shit.
Uh,
I'm real tired of
we
this
all
not
have to
being
set our
funny shit.
goals very far in the distance. So,
Look, it's if you can't dream, what's the point?
Okay. So,
um,
we are
stick with
now
future planning.
on, and I will go a Lincoln and a Poston and a Poston Lincoln.
I think this would be a Lincoln.
Remember to post it in our Discord so we all know where we are.
Oh, okay.
Do you actually mean that I should post it in the Discord that we're talking in when you're already
Oh,
in
yeah.
the channel for this?
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Testing.
Weird.
Test.
Noah,
Well, if
we
it
hear
isn't-
you, and frankly, I'm disappointed.
Well, if
Well-
it isn't Home Depot.
I set a standard of disappointment. So what you're telling me is I deliver. I set my expectations and I deliver.
Could you at
What is
least
it?
set your standard to where my standard of disappointment is?
No. I think that is an unreasonable request. And you know what? I honestly don't appreciate you making that request of me, at least not without giving me some extra incentive to do so.
Noah,
I mean, that's
the
fair.
standard of disappointment.
Hey, Andy, are you done building that furniture in the background?
No!
Then mute yourself.
Why? Noah hasn't heard anything yet.
Actually, no, I heard it all.
No, you haven't. That was part 1.
This is why I put up my furniture while I was working today.
There you go.
No, I don't know if
I would
people
much
from-
rather be
When
paid
you weren't working.
I mean, working, but also not working. God, what's the name of the frickin' all of the things?
Mr. Burns can't see you doing air quotes now.
Mr. Burns.
believe you mean his name is Mr. Boo Earns?
I called him Boo Earns.
I'm sorry, my brain is like farting out right now. What's the name of the program we use to run game again? Foundry? There we go.
Oh, I should put it in the Foundry one.
That's a good idea, actually, yes.
And that would be under notes, I believe. Yeah, there. And then I need to get some water, for I'm about to have a gravelly voice. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty typical overall.
Eric's getting a lot of talkies and whatnot.
Just straight up nothing but talkies.
Many as he can hold. Like me when I have a craving for Canada Dry.
Dry is good shit.
It is. That's why whenever I buy it, I grab as much as I can carry.
All right, and dun 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 dun. All right. So, we have 4 of 6, I think, right now. What it looks like 4 of 6.
That sounds about right, yeah.
All right. Well, we kind of, at the very least, need Eric here before we can move on. So, I guess, do sort of a quick recap of last week's game.
Yeah.
So last week, the group, the party, got to the Springshard mine, and there at the Springshard mine, they spoke with the overseer, Tutark, and he told them that basically there were some people that went missing, and some people that died, and they don't know what caused it. Sometimes it was the rocks exploding, sometimes they heard clicking and that sort of thing. And it was real bad. And so the party started trying to figure out what happened, and they didn't fully trust what Tutark was saying because he was, I don't know, hiding some stuff. And they found out that number one, the place works on sort of a company store type of method of payment, meaning that they none of the miners actually get paid. They're mostly getting paid in chits. And then they can spend those chits in town to do things like buy food. The other issue is that some of the miners found some dragon shards, some kyber shards, given the depth that they were going to, and they were using these shards to to try to make some money because they didn't have any. And so he thinks that they kind of got greedy and they did something they shouldn't have. And he said that they found a wall and they broke the wall down, and that's kind of when things started to go pretty bad. So the party decides that what they're gonna do is go try to clear out the mine because that's what they've been tasked to, but also like examine, explore, see what's going on. So they go down, and I'm going to make this bright for a second so I can see and show everybody what's up. They go down to this bottom level. They examine some of the documents that they find. They see that there's some carts of the granite ready to be made into bricks and that sort of thing. And they're finding that there's basically it's a quarry. Like it looks like a quarry. Everything about this is just screaming that this is an old dead mine that has been turned into a quarry because the holes were already dug so they could just keep going. But then they got to this area, and this area was really weird because when you turn a corner in here, you're like completely cut off from everybody that you can't see. It's really dark and kind of haunting. Um, and so the party came around this all together, and then they come to a bridge, a very rickety bridge over a very large chasm, and they try crossing the chasm. But as they cross the chasm, they're attacked by a Chrismal. Gruddick specifically is attacked by a Chrismal. Um, and Gruddick earlier had attacked a different Chrismal. And so this is the Chrismal's revenge. And it shoots a spike at his chest, and he nearly goes unconscious. And then Ringer runs in and does go unconscious. And Sharut manages to, like, doctor some people up. And they're doctoring everybody up. And they manage to beat both of the Chrismals. And then everybody kind of comes together on that side. And like I believe Zaract actually got down on all fours and crawled across the bridge. And then Lumio, seeing that that worked for Zaract, did the same thing because they saw Dandrin very nearly fall off the bridge, and they were like, "We don't want to do this," so they belly crawled across. And I believe that's about it. So let me redarken, and I will pull everybody over here.
Oh
Is it?
God, he's still alive.
Okay, cool. Just making sure that still worked. I believe the dark is maybe a little too dark. Hold on, maybe
A tad.
it might have a little bit. It did nothing. Okay, well, that's the darkness that we got. Okay, so to the lot of you, you guys are all on the other side of the chasm. You have just crossed the bridge in one way or another. If you're Sharut, you basically ran across. No problems at all. If you're Dandarin or Gruddick, you sort of slowly walked and still nearly died. I believe Ringer just sort of like jumped half of it. And
Yep.
then Zaract and Lumio belly crawled to the other side. But you're all on the other side.
That was the safest thing to do.
There was because you guys searched through a lot of the basically the bodies left behind by the Chrismals, because the Chrismals eat gems and wealth in general. So you looked over their stuff, and what you found was basically there was a good amount of coin. There's also a good amount of gems that they've eaten, like carnelians, milky quartz, deep water pearls, like things that you don't necessarily know how they got their hands on. But when they die, you're able to like take a quick chisel and like break open the stomach and just see this stuff just sitting there. Um, and thankfully, because Ringer is who Ringer is, he has like a backpack full of tools. So a chisel is just a request away.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that you also found were dragon shards. A lot of dragon shards. There's a pretty big one, like this. Think of it as being like about the size of like a 1 liter bottle. There's one that's about half that size, and then a handful of smaller ones. And you also found what are apparently based on uh, uh, Danrin's kind of expertise with gems and rock, magical items. So yeah. Um, so what would the group of you like to do?
I think it's worth examining this area a little bit. Like these crystals, I don't know that we've really kind of determined what's going on there, and they seem to kind of deaden the light on the other side of the bridge.
Hmm.
So checking to see if that's a similar property here, or if there's anything particular about them before we move on, I think makes a lot of sense.
Sure. So where are you going to examine this sort of stuff?
I think I'm going to request the dwarves follow to the extent that they're able to do so.
So,
And there's a nice one right over there.
okay. Yeah, Dandrin will start coming with you, and you'll hear Greta go like, "Go ahead. I'm still getting my wind."
I'll hang around. I'm also not feeling great.
So, yeah, go ahead and give me a first give me a knowledge engineering.
That'll have to come from the dwarf. Can I do a knowledge nature at a penalty?
You know what? Hold on. I don't know if nature would actually cover this, but let me give it a check real quick. Give it a quick read. Yeah, I would. Yes, it would still be able to tell you a similar thing. So, go ahead and give me the knowledge nature at a I'm gonna say a -5.
That makes sense.
Damn, I forgot
Pretty
that
good
this
at
is what
-5, yeah.
Zeract does. So as you're examining this, yes, you do feel that this crystal has kind of a certain ability to absorb light. It's this is not a dragon shard. If this was a dragon shard, like it's twice the size of Dandrin, who's standing right next to you. If this was a dragon shard, you guys can retire now. Like it would be one of the largest dragon shards ever found. So it's that's not what it is. But it is something that has an ability due to various due to the composition of it. It seems like it's just sort of drinking in the light. Go ahead, and what you're realizing about this, Zeract does not have a lot of experience in caves, and definitely doesn't have a lot of experience in the Kyber. But you've read about generally what to expect, and you know that this growth is otherworldly. This is not something from here.
With that in mind, can I make a knowledge planes check?
Sure. Please give me a knowledge planes check. You've so that would actually be a 15, right?
Yeah, it's a 15.
Yeah. You've heard about certain growths, certain crystals from the caverns of Lamania that have kind of this effect. It has various names. You've heard it called like Shadow Rock or Darkened Stone or that sort of thing. Darkened Stone is typically the most common name. But yeah, it's
like a natural feature or a feature of the manifest stones that are attuned to Lamania.
It's so what you know is that it's a crystal that's of Lamania, that it's only necessarily found in Lamania, and typically on a layer of Lamania that has a strong sort of underground kind of feel. So take from that what you will. You didn't roll high enough to get anything other than what I told you.
Okay, that's fair.
And it's not particularly used in masonry or any of the such thing, right?
There's not many that would want to darken a structure. Not
Well,
inherently, anyway.
You never know. Could be useful as a defense mechanism, especially for dwarves and goblins, protecting it from surfacers who can't see so well in the dark.
You have a very specific turn of thought here. I find it somewhat.
I mean,
I'm literally from an underground hold where we typically don't have lights.
Zerax will still continue to eyeball you suspiciously.
Dwarf seems pretty sus.
Did you just?
I was just over here doing some task. No, but what's Grodek doing over there, just laying down?
He's
Dead.
venting.
Pretty sus. He's venting at the moment.
I had a question.
Yeah, what's up?
I noticed that in our loot there was a half-eaten journal from the Bard's Kit.
Yes.
Can I thumb through that, see if there's anything?
Probably not the best time.
No? Okay. All right.
Doing research in the middle of a dungeon is dumb.
Well, I was just gonna see if it held anything of interest. Like not a lot of research, but just kind of like a a a glimpse, if you will, kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. Just flip through that book. I'm just bleeding out. It's fine.
I thought I
Now,
healed you
Mr.
last round.
Storyteller, let him make his own mistakes. He'll never learn otherwise.
I thought I healed you last round.
No.
Yeah. Do you?
Sorry.
No, you did. I'm at 1.
Can you
Oh,
give
I
me?
can't heal you anymore. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Can you give me a linguistics check there, Noah?
Yes, I can.
And that's a 15. Well, sir, dude, what is Mythweavers doing to me right now? Can you please tell me the languages that you speak?
Yes, I can. Languages. We're just gonna go over to that one. The languages that I speak are Common, Draconic, Dwarven, Goblin, and Orc.
Okay. Yes. You are going through this and manage to identify two things. Number one, you manage to identify that this is written in Elven. And number two, you manage to identify that it's written in a cipher. You know a couple of words in Elven. It's a fairly common language. But you're not seeing any of those. This is written in a cipher on top of being written in a language that you don't read. So
Alrighty.
you would need something in order to be able to figure it out.
Yep, not now. It just puts it kind of in his back pocket.
When we swing back around this way, Dandrin, can you help me take a small piece of this with us?
Of course. Yeah, and I'll just pull a little hammer out of my toolkit and just ting, 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 chisel off a piece.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Yep.
Yeah, you have a little brick-sized piece of Darkenstone. And yeah, once he sort of like hands it to you, and you're holding it in your hands, and the light of the torch is sort of blocked from where you are by your body. The stone is practically invisible. Like it's there, you know it's there because you can see the faint kind of like black sheen to it. But it even though you're holding it, it seems like it's gone. You're not seeing through it. You're just seeing dark. So
Yeah, I dig that.
all right, Lumio, what you doing?
Not sure, honestly. Now that we're across this bridge, and the creatures are dead, I guess we're exploring. But I would not want to explore ahead of the group. So
Okay. So you're
I
mostly
see that-
just keeping an eye on things.
yeah, I see that Zaract is over here, so I'm gonna move like halfway
Okay.
to make things a little bit easier for them to see.
Yeah, can you give me a perception check at a -2, I believe? Yeah, it'd be a -2.
Oh, I need to slash. How about that?
Yeah, Sirac's right over there.
Cool.
Okay. And then Ringer.
Like I'll help shoulder Gredick if he needs help moving around still.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was about to say is that Gredick goes. What name are you going by? It was Lyre, like Lyre.
Something like that. I can't remember exactly.
So he goes, Lyre, can you help me to the wall? And then he just kind of like, he meant this one with the stone, so that he has something that he can lean against and maybe sit on.
Sure.
So I know how Ringer is, or I should say Liar is looking, but is Gredick worse, or is that just because Travis is not here?
So, you made a fantastic heal roll on Gredick
Oh,
last time.
that's right. He's got something impaled in his chest.
Yes.
I remember now.
In terms of like hit points, like in terms of overall bodily health, you've done everything for him that you can. But yeah, there's a spike in his chest that doesn't seem to be like you're not able to remove it without him potentially dying. And you weren't able to remove it during the quick surgery and quick wound binding that you did on him. So at the moment, He's just, you know, very, very wounded.
Okay. Okay. I guess Charut is going to head over in this direction
Okay.
and say, "I continue to scout," and just kind of move forward. Do you need me to roll a stealth check?
I do.
I'll probably be about that far out before I have to roll stealth, give or take.
All right. Okay, so ahead of you, you see a small drop, and uh, it's a drop of about 10 feet or so onto a ledge that's pretty narrow, and then there's another small drop. Both of these drops have a ladder that looks to be of fairly recent construction. The bottom one goes into a pool of water that kind of continues on. You were able, if you recall, to hear a faint kind of burbling of a creek or of some kind of water last time, and now you can actually like see that water down here.
Okay.
So yeah, it's this like sort of multi-tiered thing that goes down into a fairly shallow-looking little pool. Like you can actually see through the water and see the bottom of the stone in this area.
So, I've worked with Zeract before.
Mm-hmm.
So I should know how far Zeract is able to see me, right? Give or take, because Zeract has stupid vision.
Yeah, well, you probably know that Zeract is, if there is light, Zeract can see farther than you can if there isn't.
Okay. In that case, so Zeract can probably see me at this point in time.
Potentially.
So I'll kind of motion to Zeract to like, come on, it's good to move forward and continue to scout forward, kind of thing.
Okay. So as you keep going forward, Zeract, Scout has sort of given you a sign, like a come on ahead. All right. And Zeract is moving up. All right. Ringer, are you going with?
Is Gredic able to move?
He's able to move. He's just moving slow. He's
Okay.
like
I will move, but I'm gonna shoulder Gredic still.
yeah. And you see that at this point he actually kind of he takes his realizing that he needs a bit of help right now. He sort of takes the big hammer that he usually has and puts on his back, and he pulls out a much smaller one, and he starts carrying that instead. And he's
Neat.
like,
I didn't even know you had that.
and he goes, "Oh yeah, it's good to be trained in many weapons. Can't stick to just one, 'cause, well, should never just carry one. If it breaks, then you're shit out of luck."
You know what? I have learned that lesson. Take a look at my backpack.
No.
That's why you always carry spares.
And he goes, "Those aren't weapons. You just hit people with random stuff."
Yeah. They aren't weapons for most people.
So, Sharut,
I'm assuming this is all water.
this
all of-
this is all
of the
water.
outline.
This is all water that connects to this stream right here. And yeah, so it looks to be a fairly shallow pool because, like I said, you can see the bottom of it. There's no point, unlike the pool that was out in the front where it looked like it actually got deeper. This one doesn't look like it does. It looks like it's just like a small little pool of water.
Is this climbable? This ledge here?
Yeah, you can jump down on that ledge.
Okay.
So this would be like about 5 feet above the pool of water, whereas this part right here is about 10 feet above it.
Seract is gonna pop down and then take a good long look.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'll be activating keen senses for this as
Sure. That's your shifter power, right?
Mhm.
Gotcha.
well. It'll last for a minute.
Sounds good. Damn. Okay. So yes, you see that same sort of very, very dark stone, especially as Lumio and Ringer are getting closer with the light sources, lining the bottom of this thing. So it's just like a cool, very glossy sort of black, almost like obsidian, but like where with obsidian you can actually focus on it. It's a little hard to do that. And then you see like larger growths of that on the sides over here. You're
Mhm.
also making out sort of a bank that starts on this side and goes down,
Mhm.
and then
I can see a long way in.
yeah. I clicked your dude.
Yeah,
Um, you're also seeing you're seeing strange kind of mushroom growths. Can you give me a knowledge planes check again?
I assuredly can.
Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, there's it went from being a fairly barren cavern to being a place that's very teeming with life. Um, all around this pool, you're seeing like there's leaves and lichen in it. There's some sort of like mushrooms over here against the wall. There's just a lot going on in this area.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
and this is probably reasonably non-standard, but is the spirit I'm bound to uh, reacting in any way to this? Am I getting anything from the sense of that?
You're getting a sense of eagerness, almost. Uh, well, Sauv Noir is pretty dark.
Yeah.
So there's eagerness, but there's also this kind of like predatory glee, um, because you know that just sort of fits with what Sauv Noir wants.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, yeah,
And then,
it's not like the spirit's influencing you or anything like that, but
yeah,
uh, Sept Noir is wants to go that way. That's
yeah.
what you get from it.
And then last question: the Zarak's gonna lean down and get a handful of the water and then sniff it and taste it real fast. Is it the same water that we were checking out over on the other side of the wall?
Um,
Still fresh.
yeah,
Still.
still very very fresh. There's a slight bit more of a, how would you put it, like an earthy sort of flavor to it. Like it's very mineral rich, but it's still fresh.
I will probably empty out the skin that I have. And
Okay, cool. You have some mineral water.
Zarak will make her way over and point to the bank with Sharut. This is, we're still likely to have to get wet, but this is probably the easiest path forward because there's no doubt that we're going forward.
How deep water?
Zarak
Like,
smiles. Probably one of the few times you've seen that happen, and she looks at you and winks and says, "I'll carry you if it gets too deep."
many thanks.
And Ringer
Here you go. Hold on now.
Ringer Gruddick looks to you and goes, "All right, I'm not gonna let you full on carry me, but just prop me up."
I was gonna say this is actually getting a little uncomfortable. I am gonna help you down this ladder because
Now, hold on. I'll help you.
that's probably better actually. Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like at this point, Shrewd would be on like his tippy toes, maybe.
yeah. So even I mean for like Zarak, this is coming up to your ankle. So for Sharut, it's coming up to like
Oh, okay.
about mid shin. It's
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not wading through something horribly deep. It's this is more of a an enclosed puddle than it is a lake. Yeah, it's about between 6 to 8 inches in depth, depending on where you're walking. So, Lumio, looks like they're climbing down from what you can tell from Ringer's light and what you can see there. What would you like to do?
Is the ladder looks dirty if the rest of them have gone?
Yeah,
I feel the need to follow them.
sounds good.
Oh.
All right.
Any special check to climb down ladder?
No special check to climb down the ladder. There was a special check to cross the bridge, but the bridge was exceptionally rickety.
Uh-huh.
So I can see these mushrooms now.
Yes, you can. You can see
Can
those
I?
mushrooms. You can also see a lot of the other life form, like the lichen and the leaves and that sort of thing that are around here.
Yeah, Zarak is going to continue taking samples.
Can I make a knowledge planes check?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a knowledge planes check. So, yeah. Do you, Noah the player, know what a manifest zone is?
I think we talked about it last time.
Okay.
Like it came up in subject last time. It's where essentially you dig so deep in some cases and you kind of go into another plane kind of thing, or things come out of that other plane.
So that's a demi-plane of Kyber.
Okay.
So basically, like, think of what you would think of the Underdark in Forgotten Realms.
Okay.
In Eberron, that whole like, there's a bunch of underground cities. Like, that's not really a thing because if you go too deep, you will cross over into Kyber, which is like one of the various hells. Like, everything about Kyber is terrible. So it's not that you're actually going to hell; you're just going to a different demi-plane of everything's bad. A manifest zone is a little different. A manifest zone is where one of the other planes, one of the other 13 planes of Eberron, sort of touches the material plane, and by doing so, affects it. Um, you are, as you walk through this, fairly certain that you are in a manifest zone to the plane of Lamania, the Twilight Forest.
Lamania.
Um,
Okay.
so in terms of general feeling of Lamania, think of it as uh, every aspect of nature that you've ever heard of. So nature can be, wondrous and splendid, and underground springs and fall leaves and wonderful misting snows. It can also be the terrifying depths of the ocean. It can be a volcano. It can be like furious blizzards. Nature can be like, you know, a pack of wild creatures caring for each other. It can also be being hunted by something that is 400 times your size. Lamania is nature unbounded.
Okay.
And you are in a manifest zone of Lamania, which means that Lamania is currently affecting the material plane where you are.
Once the group gets a little closer together, Sharut will be like, appears plane of Lamania is touching ours here.
Oh, so it is a manifest zone then.
That's what it seems, yes.
Seems bad.
Wilderness. Zeract should feel right at home.
And it's evident for those of you who can still see her that she totally does. She's walking around. She's gathered some of the leaves and twigs from the bushes, some of the lichen from the walls. She goes over to the mushrooms and starts best deciding how to take some of those apart and bring them with.
Zeract, can you please give me a fortitude save?
Absolutely.
Okay. As you're sort of like leaning down to the mushrooms, one of them does this like there's this one that has this kind of like the purple green cap that you sort of saw before. And then behind those is kind of a bigger one, and the bigger one sort of releases this poof of spores that just sort of like floods the area around it, and you get covered a little bit, but you make sure not to breathe it in. So
that's the one she uses one of the arrowhead or one of the heads from one of her crossbow bolts to gather that one in particular. Fuck that guy.
Give me a knowledge nature roll. Would that be it? Yes. Give me a knowledge nature roll at a -2.
Oh, sorry. Just take 2 off that.
Okay. 1 second. I'm going to send you a whisper.
Lumio, lad, why don't you come down here? Seems nice enough here, anyway.
You talking about like right here?
I'm talking about right about there.
All right.
Why are you imitating my accent?
My socks are wet.
Well, that is what happens when one stands in water.
Why are you wearing socks?
Sharut has learned Warforged wear socks.
Because
Well, this Warforge does.
he
I
goes,
like how none of you have looked at my feet. That there are no socks. It was an attempt at humor. You informed me earlier that you liked it.
Sharut does not understand.
I will tell you of the ways of dwarves.
You'd be wrong.
Good one.
Sharut just raises his eyebrow even further up.
at this point, it's
Basically.
detached. It's just on his hand, and he's
Like
reaching
he's-
towards the stake. You can actually say that, Justin. Like,
Yeah. So at this point, Zeract, like she leans forward with the bolt and she's like, and then takes a second and then just stops, freezes, carefully puts the bolt back. She leans forward, like she like carefully pats the mushroom and leans forward and says something in a language the others don't get.
okay, what are you saying? And in what tongue? Zerect.
Into the darkness, she whispered. My name is Tutak.
You see it quiver a bit, but that's about it. It just kind of like it vaguely the cap of the mushroom sort of vaguely moves back and forth.
All right. Zeract is going to step away and then kind of like motion to the mushrooms and say, just leave these ones alone.
I wasn't planning on doing anything with them.
Just a precaution. Also, any of them that look like this one, these ones in the back, just don't touch them.
Didn't
That's a fair assessment of everything in here, as far as I'm concerned.
Shoot, we'll probably take the long way around for the mushrooms then.
Okay.
Are those consistent? Like, am I seeing a lot of that?
You are seeing so as you're getting in closer and you've got sort of a wider eye with the light that you have. You're seeing a good number of those in various sizes, but they all seem to be around that size. Here in the middle, what you see is a sort of a pool of water. Here, I'm gonna move Ringer up just so that it's in light, so the rest of you can kind of see it.
Okay.
There. So in the center, what you see is a pool of water right here. And from this this sort of pool of water, there's some little trails of stream going around. There's a very sizable mushroom in the front right there. Real big, like it's a good 15 feet tall, and you're seeing some other big ones towards the back of this cavern. But yeah, for the most part, it looks to be it looks like these are fairly spread out over this entire area. So sorry, I'll put you back to where you were so that you can decide where you are now.
Sure. Mostly just trying to keep an eye on Gruddick.
Yeah, he's coming. It's just slow going. Like
Yeah. No, I'm making sure he doesn't get lost behind us or anything like that.
Direct. For that question, go ahead and give me a knowledge nature roll. So you know that they are they're a species with about as much variation or deviation as actual mushrooms.
Mhm.
So that means that there are a lot of different kinds of them. They are generally called they're all called myconids in the way that humans are all called humans no matter where they're from.
Right.
But you can have like super tall, skinny ones. You can have sort of wide, flat ones, and blah blah, blah, and they'll all be myconids, and they just kind of like hang around each other. And they, for you, you would probably know them most in the Eldine Reaches in places where it's very swampy,
Mhm.
or places that get a lot of rain. You don't spend a lot of time underground, so you probably don't know them from their sort of underground part of their habitat. So if you have ever encountered any, which is up to you, or if you've ever heard about them, it's always been this is a non-numerous species, and you also know that that thing that just happened to you, that spore cloud, was an attempt at communication.
Okay.
Um,
Uh,
and whether or not you accept that is up to you.
With that in mind, Zeract's still probably got fair dusting of spores on the exterior clothing, and she'll pause for a moment and take a deep breath, and then just huff them right in.
It doesn't. They're not active anymore.
Okay. In that
Yeah.
case, Zeract will kind of motion back to the group and just say, "Hang back, don't look threatening," and is going to approach the tall mushroom right over here.
Okay. Sounds good.
Like hands out, slow pace, and we'll stop like a good 10 feet away.
Okay.
So like there-ish.
Okay. So I'm gonna check with everybody else, and I'll get back to you.
Sounds good.
So Sharut, while Zeract is doing this, what are you doing?
I mean, Sharut has traveled with Zeract before, so he kind of knows to defer to Zeract on these kind of things. he's also not super knowledgeable about nature in general. Like he does have some survival skills, but nature is not his forte. So I think he would just kind of wait and see what Zaract is doing in this situation.
Okay.
Because it's not his bag. These aren't ruins.
All right. Ringer, what is Liar going to be doing?
He's still kind of worried about Critic, because, like, that's a really bad wound. Like, I'm pretty fucked up too, but I don't know how to survive that.
You, after being, like, terribly slashed across the stomach with this thing and then having a bandage put on it, are in better shape than the man who got a really, really good amount of surgery and should be fully healed, but is walking around with a spike in his chest.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, he's making his way. He's just slow. And at this point, you see that he's sort of exchanged the hammer for a pick. It sort of looks like a mining pick, but it's got some like jaggedness to it that makes you think that this is an actual like weapon sort of pick.
Yeah.
And he's using that to kind of like, I'm gonna put it sort of like fine purchase in the rock. So every now and then there's this little like tick from behind you guys as he like finds a little bit of purchase with the pick and then pulls himself to that bit. And he's just kind of like slowly tottering after you. He's like, don't mind me. We gotta get this done. So you need to be on alert. I'll be fine.
All right. Well, I mean, if you say you're okay.
Oh no, brother, no time to be stubborn.
I feel like I'm fucking dying.
Well, if it makes you feel anything, you look like it.
Who is doing what into the mic?
Somebody's filled up a drink.
Or peed.
Or peed. Maybe both.
Into the ice cube.
You guys understand how mics work, right? It like picks up sound and stuff.
I poured that like really far away from my mic though.
I know how one mic works. He likes to build Gundams.
That's fair.
Okay, so Dandarin, what are you doing?
I'm helping Grodek.
Okay.
Being a goodly brother.
Yeah, and he's just, doing his thing, like slowly.
Everyone else, he's got like the strong face, like, oh, I'll be fine. But to me, he's like, brother, it's fucking killing me. Oh, you look like shit.
I've been stabbed before, but I've never been stabbed as bad.
You're still stabbed. You see, it's not past tense, it's current.
Yeah,
You're in the middle of a stab.
usually the stabbing stops after I see the doctor.
I know
This fucking goblin doesn't know what he's doing.
I'll put in a word.
All right, so Lumio and Ringer, what are you doing?
I'm trying to stay far enough back that I can keep an eye on the two of them moving forward slowly.
Okay.
And then moving up, just kind of glancing back at them and then moving forward, trying to follow the group.
And Ringer?
That's you, Mike.
I'm kind of just keeping my eyes peeled for anything dangerous. I don't know what danger would look like in here, except for everything, so just kind of being paranoid.
Okay. All right. Zaract.
Mhm.
You approach the very large mushroom, and what would you like to say? It sounded like you were about to say a thing.
She is. I'll put it in the thing.
You can just say it.
Okay,
Like you're talking. They don't necessarily know what you're saying, but you're talking.
that's fair. She's gonna say, "We didn't mean to intrude. It looks like you and your kind have settled here. We are looking into an adjacent problem, but your presence complicates things, and I wondered if we could talk."
Okay. So cool. That's what you say. Zaract, I need from you a perception check. Lumio, I need one from you as well at a -2, and Sharut and Ringer, I need one from the both of you at a -4. So Zaract, you hear this voice speak. It's sort of, it flows well. It's melodic, and you kind of feel it as you hear it. And so you hear, "We may be able to forgive this trespass. You seem intent on completing it, though. Could you bring your friends? Some of them have harmed some of mine, and I would have them apologize for such an action. Uh, so, more than one of you got it, so I'm just gonna, hold on. This is gonna take a minute, because I'm sending a message real quick.
Mhm.
So, that's what's said. And to everybody behind Zarak, you can all hear this. It comes out plainly. The send your friends forward so that they might apologize for their trespass.
Sharut kind of leans back towards the dwarves, or like tilts back towards the dwarves. Mushroom want apology.
Apologize how?
What you want an apology for?
Not Sharut want apology. Mushroom want apology. And he
I didn't say what
points-
you want an apology for. I said what it want an apology for. The mushroom.
You hurt friends.
Zorak is just gonna look over his shoulder and kind of mutter, "I told you."
You mean the scorpions?
Yes.
The charisma is likely.
See sharp
I
thing in
assume it's
chest
going to. I'm aware. Yes.
could have been avoided. Yes.
Well, yes, it could have been,
So
but that's in the past now. Can't change it.
best to avoid further unpleasant. Yes.
Come on, brother. Don't hit it first. Let's do the talking first. Yes.
Right. Let's go up and apologize to a mushroom for getting stolen from. That's my day. That's my day so far.
It's your day so far. If you don't want it to get worse, I assume you need to be a little gracious, and myself too. What with what I've done.
I'll turn
Sharut
it
like
into
steps
a...
aside and just motions them forward towards Zarak.
I mean, I don't mind apologizing, but I want to know how you want me to do that. I can say sorry from here if that's what you want.
So...
Does it want it in a particular language?
Can the people in this group of hexes, can you please give me a fortitude save, Eric, so that you know this is versus poison?
Oh, good.
Hey!
Oh, hey, I've got one.
So what you all see is this mushroom right here. As you start to get closer to it, just sort of poof, and a cloud of spores drops out from under it.
Hey, GM.
Yeah.
Do I need to make that check?
You do not breathe, so no.
Okay.
Unless you have a willingness to like succumb to it, you do not.
Do I need to make any recompense? I wasn't all here last week.
I don't think you heard
Are
them.
you saying that to the mushroom? Are you saying that to
yeah,
me?
I guess to you, mostly because I don't remember all of last week.
So what Lumio did mostly was put down
The aura?
his aura and shoot a couple blasts. But unfortunately, everybody ran up and crowded completely around the thing, and so
Oh.
it was very hard to get a blast in at them. So buffing them was kind of the best way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
From what I
the
recall-
aura was actually pivotal to ending the fight because the thing died via the bonus damage from that.
Nice.
So
Okay. So maybe. Then
I
I
mean-
will ask the thing. Do you require recompense from me?
for your actions, for your participation in the slaughter, yes, you must provide such. Supplication would suffice.
I am pointedly noticing the mushroom is ignoring my questions.
I didn't hear you ask a question.
How do you want me to apologize?
You may approach. Supplication will suffice.
Lumia, what's that word mean?
Supplication is like kneeling before it, apologizing, kind of a thing.
The action of asking or begging for something earnestly or humbly.
Yes, something along those lines. And I will kneel down and I humbly ask you forgive. Child in the background playing Mario Kart. I humbly ask you forgiveness for my transgressions of myself and my brother. I also ask forgiveness on his behalf, as he's quite injured, and I don't think he'd be able to supplicate himself very effectively.
Give me a diplomacy roll. And since you're taking this from someone else, you're going to be at a -2 for it.
Can I assist?
No, because you will be doing your own.
Sweet.
Lumio will also bow, but
I
remain
suppose
keenly
I
aware of
could
the
roll a
torch.
natural one with a -3. Jesus Christ.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Sorry, Lumio's doing what? Saving the group?
He is gonna double kneel, but he's keeping his torch above water.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like even kneeling where
And,
you
like-
are, the water is still only a couple inches deep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna bring his face low and parallel to the water. Nearly prostrate, but not actually getting prostrate in order to keep himself mildly clean.
Yeah. And okay, is he saying anything or just kneeling?
Lumio's going to defer to Zoract in every ideological sense here, as he's not talked to mushrooms before, but he's learning, listening.
Okay. And Zoract, what are you doing?
Zoract figures that the bits of the things she's seen are probably from folks who didn't know how to approach this, and so she's going to call on all of the lore and experience that she has with the druids and the Elden Reaches, and she will kneel down and say this was indeed a trespass in multiple ways, and there were deaths that could have been avoided here. Our intention is not to harm you and yours, and this is the result then of that intention. This is the desire to find a working middle ground between our parties. I have nothing but good intentions for you and yours. I wish for you to live here peacefully and to be protected from those who might impinge on your space.
Can you give me first of all, Lumio? Can you please give me a diplomacy roll at a flat roll, so just plus whatever you normally roll, and then Zoract, can you give me one and a +2? You only had a 3.
That's I don't have. Actually, I don't know.
For diplomacy?
Hold on.
Hold
I have to
please.
look at
I'm gonna
the-
check out your.
I'm looking at the.
You didn't finish your
physical lore
skills.
sphere. Correct.
All right. So you would have at least, with a 16 charisma, you would have at least a +7. So I mean, you're gonna get 4 higher than that, which isn't necessarily gonna make it for you, because that still comes to a 9. But yeah. So it's
Yeah, I
it's
rolled butts.
yeah, you rolled real butts. So you didn't roll as bad as Eric. You rolled 1 higher. Yeah. So cool. All right. Well, can I get from everyone who can see the big mushroom?
Oh fuck!
That's a big mushroom.
Can I get a perception check? I believe he is within the light for all of you. Yes, indeed. Can I get a perception check, please? Why does it say monkey?
I
goblin?
perceive it.
Hold on. It's rolling the wrong thing.
Who's the monkey goblin?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to
that's what I just said. Like, why is it rolling as the monkey goblin?
Well, Dash, it's about to get real weird here, real quick.
Oh no. Sorry, let me do this again. Make sure it's correct. Okay. So this towering fungoid colossus begins to move out of the sort of mound that it has for itself. Like you see these stacks of like mushrooms on mushrooms on mushrooms with as it moves, vaguely humanoid shape begin to emerge. And by vaguely humanoid, the head is kind of sticking straight out of the chest. There's two arms that are coming from two, well, not necessarily shoulders, but just from dropping from the cap. But you are all able to see, I believe. Yeah, I rolled worse than all of you. You are all able to see, sort of within the branches of this thing, it's kind of like, it almost looks like a child, not a mushroom child, just a humanoid child with these long tendril hands or tendril limbs that are covered in thorns. The whole thing is covered in thorns, and it has these black, gaping eyes and a mouth that just has rows of like fang-like teeth, sort of like a lamprey eel. Just this maw of grinding points. And as it rises, a thing happens. This is a very large effect. So give me a moment.
Oh, biscuits.
Oh.
All of the plant growth in this area starts to rise up and just expand and become not a mossy or licheny bed, not just small pools of algae or small stalks of mushrooms. It's becoming these grasping ropes and tendrils and vines. Can I get everybody to please give me a reflex save versus the spell Entangle? Oh yeah.
Do I know what the fuck that thing is?
Hold on. You do. All right. So, everybody but Dandarin, you made it.
Yay!
Dandarin, you didn't make it. Creatures that failed to save, Dandarin, get the entangled condition. Where Dandarin is. Dandarin here. Dandarin, you get a condition, and that condition is entangled. Which one of these is, and I don't know which. Oh, restrained. That looks like a net. I'm going to give you that one. Okay. And creatures that make their save can move as normal, but those that remain in the area must save again at the end of your turn. Creatures that move into the area must save immediately. Those that fail must end their movement or gain the entangled condition. So basically, this area is constantly striving to catch you. And so as this thing rises up, you see sort of like poking through the stalks of this thing, and as it's doing it, as it's sort of slithering through the many stalks of this fungal colossus, you're seeing that the limbs on it, the thorns on it, are sort of sinking in to the flesh of the cap. And you hear, "Now, while their leader kneels, I want them for the pile. Do it, or I'll take out all of your spoilings." And the big colossus stands up and goes, and raises a huge fist towards Zeract.
That's not what he was told to do.
So I'm gonna start an encounter. If everybody would add themselves to the encounter.
How?
I have
That's right. I gotta click the fist, and then I gotta click me, and then.
My initiative is great. Just always wonder. Well, Dandarin, never mind. Okay, I feel good.
Wait, how did
No,
how do you roll?
This is
initiative
unacceptable.
again?
I haven't rolled above a 2 for initiative in the last like 4 or 5 encounters.
Okay, so the way you roll initiative is you go to the top right and you click the fist, and then
Yeah.
next to you there should be a
Toggle combat state.
yes.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it. All right.
I got a natural 20, and you still beat me on initiative.
Dexterity here. All right.
No, that's fine. I don't want to be anywhere near this thing.
Gonna have to try and get that small dude.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. Wow, that is just not working with me here, is it? See if it works now. Nope. All right, whatever. Okay. So, Sharut, it's your turn.
Sharut is going to move down here.
Okay.
And he is going to take a swift action to scout this bugger.
The
I'm
little one or
assuming
the
that's
big one?
The little one.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's knowledge nature, so I'll have to make a perception.
It's a knowledge nature check.
Yeah, I thought so. So perception check at a -5. Because I can do it, I might as. Oh, hey, that's pretty good.
Oh, so in terms of vulnerabilities, it doesn't really have any. But in terms of defenses, defenses just tells you what it's strong against or weak against. It doesn't give you like its armor class, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I can check that, but it tells me specifically.
It gives resistances and special defenses. It does not give you.
Yeah.
Targets
Like,
weaknesses or
that's
lack
actually
thereof,
just
such as damage reduction and vulnerabilities. Okay, cool. So you know that this thing does have damage reduction versus weapons that are not slashing.
So
So
my
against
weapons.
piercing weapons and bludgeoning weapons, it has a bit of damage reduction or damage resistance or damage reduction. Sorry.
Yep.
Different games call everything different names.
Okay.
But it doesn't have any necessary vulnerabilities that you know of.
Okay. Sharut is going to take 2 shots at it, and as he does, he's going to say, "Best use slashing weapons." And yeah, I'll take 2 shots.
All right.
So he is within my 30-foot range. Combat crossbow. Oh no, not that one. There we go. And then, but since it's 2 shots, it's at a -1 instead of a.
Sounds right. So that you know, because of the sort of position that this thing is in, it's gonna have cover against your attacks.
Okay, so I have the chance to essentially miss 20%, right?
No, it doesn't have concealment. It has cover. Like there's a chance that the bolt just goes into the Colossus instead, sort of thing. Yeah,
Okay.
it gets a bonus to AC essentially.
Can I? No, I can't roll those twice. So there's the first one, and here is the second.
Okay. The second one, the second one doesn't hit. The first one doesn't either.
Do either of them hit the cover?
They both hit the cover.
I did not want to hit the cover.
Yeah. It's a very tiny bolt against a very big mushroom.
Yeah. I kind of
don't-
figured that.
Yeah.
It was more of a comment as a player. Like, I didn't want to hit the cover. I'm trying to get that little bastard. All right, that's what I got.
Okay. After Sharut, let's see, we'll begin combat, and then we will go from Sharut to Monsieur Ringer. Oh, wait, 1 sec. Sharut, please
Sure.
give me a reflex save.
Oh, that's right, because it's end the turn kind of thing. That's nasty.
Okay, you are currently entangled.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's Ringer's turn.
So he said slashing weapons, right?
Yes.
That's what he said.
Do I have any of those tools in my bag?
Let's see. Yeah, because I know that they would need like an adze sort of thing, which is functionally a slashing weapon.
Gotcha.
That's sort of a digging tool. It's like a mattock. All
right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be dropping my torch and picking that out of my bag as quick as I can.
Okay. I believe the act of attacking for you, the act of attacking with an improvised weapon is enough to allow you to draw the weapon.
That is true.
Yeah. So you don't actually have to spend actions.
If I'm attacking, yes. However, I'm not sure I'm doing that yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I would. I think I would pull that out, go here. If I still have an action, I would ready it for counter punch.
Sounds good.
The other secondary thing being this thing attacking anyone around me.
Okay. Sounds good. So you go there and ready your counterpunch. Monsieur Lumiere.
Hang on. Am I entangled?
With a 10, yes.
Cool.
I'm gonna drop that thing that makes everybody punch better.
Yeah. 1 second here. I have to edit a thing on Ringer real quick. Okay. Ringer, you dropped your torch. It hit the water. It went out. Lumio, so that you know you are now the sole source of light in the room. And you're dropping the thing that makes everybody punch better?
Yeah.
All right. That's a 55 radius, I believe.
Yeah, that's what we used last time. It's a big boy.
All right. You have that right there.
Do note that the lantern that you have is waterproof because it's my
Nice.
lantern.
And what's
It's a
the
very good
adjustment?
one.
It is
Like
a very good one.
How much does that give?
It gives
Plus 2 to damage.
yeah,
right?
it gives you +2 to weapon damage.
Okay.
So like it won't affect your spells, but if you're using a weapon, you get +2
Right.
damage. Cool. So you do that as your standard. Are you doing anything else?
No.
Okay. Can you give
I
me
don't need to
a
move, and yeah.
Can you give me a reflex save, please?
Yeah, I remember how to do that. There.
All right. You are not entangled.
Good.
Good. Good. All right. And next turn is going to be Zeract. Or sorry, it's the Myconid and then it's Zeract.
Yeah.
So Zeract, does a 22
Yeah.
hit you?
Yes.
You take 11 points of non-lethal.
I'm unconscious.
Okay. It kind of just whop, and you're sort of like there now. And after your turn, well, it's your turn and you're unconscious. Oh wait, there's a thing I didn't do. I'll move to there. And the child will go. More of them. Move. And then this moves to about there. Dandrin, it's your turn. I believe you are the one that was entangled.
Oh yeah, I'm entangled.
You can
We
attempt to break free as a move action. It's a strength or escape artist check at the DC of the spell.
Right. I'm assuming it counts as being anchored, so I'm immobile otherwise.
What do you mean?
I can move unless it counts as being anchored. So if the spell counts as being anchored, I can't move. Otherwise, I can move at half speed.
You can move at half speed. You cannot run or charge, and take a -2 penalty on all attack
Yeah.
rolls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I need to know. Can I move or not?
Yes, you can
Yes.
move.
Yeah.
You move at half speed.
You're entangled. You're not prevented from moving. You move at half speed.
Okay. I will attempt. I will move.
Okay.
But I'll see if I can break free first. Hey, I think I did.
Yeah. That's So if you're planning to move and you try to break free, that's your turn. That's your whole turn. Because
Breaking free is the whole turn instead of just
no,
an action.
breaking free is a move action. If you then move after that, that's also a move action.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I'll have to make another freaking reflex save. We can't beat this thing here. We have to go back. It has advantage here. And aim for the little creature if you can. I think it's controlling it. Just guessing based on the fact that it's ordering the thing around.
If we do that, won't Zarak die?
We're all going to die. We
The
need to be
chuckle
able
at the end is concerning.
Am I entangled?
No, you're fine.
Hey.
Okay. So that was Danderin's turn. Sorry, I thought that you were trying to break free and then also move and then also attack it, and I was like, I didn't know that you were breaking free to leave.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you were
no,
just gonna move.
so yeah, no, I'm not gonna fight this thing here. We are fighting this thing here is dumb.
Okay. So that was Dandarin. Sharut,
Well, shit.
what would you like to do?
I'd like to yell at the dwarf for his cowardice.
I didn't say not fight it. I said don't fight it here.
Well, we can't really leave Zeract behind, is the thing.
You can always shoot Zeract.
No, you used all my vials.
Oh, that's true, huh?
Yeah, if I could shoot Zeract, that would be one thing, but I can't. That's a problem.
Is there a problem with? I could hit Zeract.
With healing,
No.
well, that's what we're discussing. But okay.
God damn it.
Oh, Lumio.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lumio.
Zeract's just laying there. She is a very open target. We
Yeah.
could all hit her, really.
Definitely dropping that one into the good books. That's for sure.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
You're unconscious. My words mean nothing.
I did earn this.
Sharut is going to make an escape artist check. So
Okay.
move action to try and break free.
Yep.
Uh,
What'd you get? A 16?
16.
You are free.
Yep. Okay, so no longer being entangled, he's going to move. Is that also 15? Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to move over here. And as he moves, he's going to yell, "If we leave one behind, likely we all die. Best to face here." Because entanglement doesn't really hurt the dwarves as much as it hurts the Dex characters.
Yeah.
And that was his move action and his standard action, so he
Okay.
can't do anything more.
Can I suggest a thing? Because I think I know what you're planning to do, and I know that you think you're out of options right now.
Okay. What are
Okay.
you going to suggest?
You have 3 hero points, and one of the things that you could spend a hero point for is to get an additional standard action.
Well, I will do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do just that. In that case, I will use a hero point. I'm at 2 now. And I will use my heal skill.
Yeah, these are supposed to be your sort of like pulp noir, the hero kind of like goes. Holy shit! Travis just made a clip on my channel. I've never actually had a clip on the channel before. That's neat. Yeah, like hero points are supposed to be like the pulp hero sort of like reaches for that little bit of extra energy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do that, and go ahead and make a heal check if you would like.
This is too important at this moment in time.
Mhm.
So I think I'm going to spend.
Nope.
Nope. Can only spend 1 around.
Only
Okay.
spend 1 around unless you take feats for more.
Good to know. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Mother
Oh,
flubber.
That really sucks.
Oh, well, no, doesn't change anything.
Man, that super sucks for you.
We met back in town by another shifter named Barakt.
Ringer, what would you like to do? There's
Mhm.
the 3rd one rolled tonight. Yeah. There's also been, I believe, 2 2s rolled by you guys, as well as the 3 1s.
Mm-hmm.
We're just doing real good.
ooh, it feels we're hot tonight. Real hot.
If I move like this, do I provoke?
I believe you as a person know if you're doing a thing that provokes, correct?
I'm asking.
No. I believe that's in the rules. Like, you know when you provoke. So, you know that won't.
Okay,
But you also don't know why it won't.
that's fine. I'm gonna go here,
Okay?
and I'm gonna ready a counterpunch
Okay.
for anything for attacks against me or Zoract.
Okay. So this is a thing where normally you can't ready to attack something that's out of your reach. I've always thought that's stupid, especially if it has to touch you to attack you.
Yeah, that is stupid.
Yeah. So it's stupid to the point where that's literally a feat, because everything in Pathfinder is. I'm gonna say that works. Because
Okay.
he's attacking you in melee and not with like a big sword.
Yeah.
Are unarmed and not with a big sword. So that works if that's what he tries to do. All
That's-
right.
What my triggers are. So
Cool. Okay. I can't just leave him behind. Man, I don't actually know what Grudek is at for melee. I believe it is a +4. Okay.
Oh, I forgot to do the thing.
Grudek is going to spend a hero point, because this seems like a desperate situation.
Fuck.
yeah, that worked. That's a good idea.
Good job, Grudek.
Okay. You see Grudek kind of like jump up and swing his pick, and he clips into the fetid child, and the pick doesn't go in all that far, and then he kind of like tries to drive it in a little bit farther, and then yanks it out, and you guys all sort of hear/feel that scream that the fetid child lets out, just that that one, take that one, smash him to pieces. And Grudek's like, I already feel real bad. I'm not really worried about you. And Lumio, your turn.
Before we
Yeah.
go any farther,
Yeah, what's up?
I forgot to roll my reflex save, so I'm gonna do that now.
Okay, you fine. Lumio, your turn. What's up?
I'm going to hit it with magic.
The old magic hit, eh?
Yeah, specifically targeting the cursed child with the static shock.
Okay.
Even though it's not carrying any weapons, doesn't have armor, whatever else.
Yeah.
But take this.
Yeah, it's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't
Man,
know why I made me laugh so hard, but it's good.
And we were rolling
Shouldn't there
real
be a
well
bonus to
tonight,
hit?
boys.
What the fuck are we doing?
He's hitting
No.
touch armor.
No, Eric, I don't have a bonus to hit on that.
Do you have, what's your dex? Is it 10?
Yeah. He has a dex of 10 and no BAB.
Well,
The thing is that if somebody's wearing metal, he's at like +3 to hit them. Because his lightning sort of like arcs to them. Yeah. So no, that's not enough for the bolt to connect in the way that you wanted it to. It just kind of like shoots off, and with all of the writhing plants around and all the water, it gets grounded out pretty quick.
Okay. Neat. I'm
You're-
tangled now.
You're entangled. All right. After that is going to be the Myconid, who is been told to smash the Gruddock. So that's a 6. It still says Monkey Goblin. I don't understand.
Miceloid, monkey goblin, it's all the same thing.
All right. So you see, for those who are looking this way, so I guess that would be Lumio, Ringer, and Shrewd. Can you all give me a sense motive check? Yeah,
I think he wants to kill him.
No, I think the hulking dude is holding back. That's what I think.
Damn,
Yes.
Shrewd. Yeah, Ringer and Shrewd, you are absolutely certain that the hulking dude is holding back. It should have been able to pound him flat. Also, the fact that Shrewd, when you ran over to Zeract, and Zeract is not dead, Zeract is knocked out. There's something else going on here. Yeah, so both of you are fairly certain that this is the case. Zeract, it's your turn. You're unconscious, but you're not bleeding, so you don't lose any hit points or anything. We're just gonna bypass you.
Yep.
The fetid child will continue to scream, "Get it! He dares! The insolence! I rule here. I will not let you defile my throne." And after that is Andrin.
So I heard him hit Gruddock, right?
You heard Gruddock go, "Well, I feel like shit anyway," and then you heard that like clunk, and then "Get him!" and then you heard Gruddock go, probably something to the effect of, "Ugh, I've been hit harder."
I'm going to spend a hero point in charge,
Yeah, sure.
specifically to here,
Okay.
if I can.
Yeah.
And I'm going to aim for the little dude. So
Okay.
I'm spending a hero point to hit the little dude. Charge.
So are you spending a hero point on the attack roll? Is that what you mean?
I'm spending two hero points on the
No,
attack roll and
you-
damage
no,
roll, but
you
I'm
can't.
declaring
You can only
try them
spend-
one at a time.
You can only spend
One during a turn.
You can only spend one per round.
Okay. In that case, yes, on the hit roll.
Okay, cool.
And as I'm running, I am swapping out for my halberd. So since
okay.
it's part of a move action, I just basically I've got the weapon rack backpack, so I
Yeah.
just put the hammer on and take the halberd off.
Yeah, that makes sense. Go ahead and give me the attack roll.
Okay. Also, I can draw a straight line between him and I on the creature.
You guys aren't on opposite sides enough to be flanking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I went to here, it would be, but I assume I'd provoke an attack of opportunity on that one.
Pretty much, yeah.
Actually,
Well, it's not that
That
you
was
would
about-
provoke an attack of opportunity. It's also, it's real awkward to go like, I'm going to charge way to the right and then swing to the left. Like,
yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'll
I
just.
mean, if you're
that.
charging, then charge.
Yeah, I charged him.
Okay.
So aiming for the small child.
All right.
Swinging with the
Swinging the hero point spinning the hero point before your roll gives you a +8.
For charging.
Oh, yeah, with a +2 for charging. So you're at +10 of whatever your normal roll is.
Yeah, watch me roll a 1 though and invalidate the whole thing.
Do it.
Also, please fucking don't.
Do it, coward. You won't.
Hooray!
Hey.
I didn't.
Yeah, you rolled a 15. Nice. All right. So that is how much damage?
Unfortunately, that is. Oh, it would be 8 because we're in the aura, so
Yes,
it's
so
actually
it's-
2 higher.
So it's 8 total?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you run up and basically you see through the multiple stalks, through all the different caps of this thing, you see the fetid child constantly kind of slinging a thorned tentacle and then it'll sort of pull itself to it, and it sees you coming, and it's trying to back away, and then it's like the best luck ever. Onatar is with you, and it's like the stalks, the caps, just split just a little bit. And it's just enough to get your blade in and just thunk right into the wooden, thorny body of the fetid child. You see you hear the sort of like squeals and screams of not just it, but it sounds like it's coming from a number of the plants nearby as it sort of writhes under the blade, and then it ceases to be. And as it ceases to be, so does the entanglement. Yeah, you did it.
Nobody touches my brother.
Eventually, I'm going to teach you how to protect me before I get hit, but I thank you for the sentiment.
Other we're dwarves. We're avengers, not defenders.
Oh, no, makes sense. This huge arm swings up to you, Gredick, and grabs you. It is a massive embrace of a big, meaty fungus hand.
I assume you meant Dandrin.
Sorry, yeah, Dandrin.
Yeah.
And you are brought up in the air, and then one of the hands reaches in, like sort of into the stalks, and grabs the body of the child, and you see it fling it like far past you. It just goes up this way, and then the head of the thing starts to shake, and a very large cloud of spores just kind of poofs over this area. Everybody
and
there.
Zarak did mention that's communication, right?
No, Zarak didn't tell anybody anything.
I didn't fucking say anything. Also, I can't say anything right now.
I mean, I can heal Zarak now, so.
You can, but Zarak isn't healed yet.
Yes,
so
that's correct.
Everybody, please make me a fortitude save. This is versus poison, if that matters to you. Zarak, you don't actually get to roll. You're unconscious. You fail saves.
Fucking sweet. Awesome. I'm really okay with that.
Hooray!
I forget.
I failed.
I don't know shit.
Let's see. Oh, great. Ringer, you don't experience this thing that's going on next. You have no idea what anyone's doing, okay? Just so you know.
Do I?
So, like I said, this is a thing where Warforged can essentially choose what they intake into their body. You can choose to breathe. You can choose to drink a potion. But if you're just standing there and you're not like, oh, this looks interesting, then no, it doesn't do anything for you. You can't inhale a poison.
Got it. I remain non-effective then.
Okay. Dandarin, the big fungal colossus sort of shakes you in one hand, and you get this overwhelming presence in your mind that booms the feeling / word gratitude.
You're quite welcome. Brother, did you get that? He thanked us.
Is that what he's doing? Because it looks like he's about to use you to club me.
No. Well, he might, but not at the moment.
Sharut, if you wanted to heal Zarak again at this point, you could.
So since he's taken non-lethal, can I just do first aid, or is first aid only for when he's losing HP?
First aid is more of a this is done over time.
Okay. Okay.
And so, like, over time, Zarak will come back from non-lethal damage. But it would take, I think it's like 20 minutes per hit point or something like that, or like 10 minutes per hit point.
I was reading the heal skill.
Yeah.
It says first aid's a standard action, but it looks like it's only specifically to save a dying character.
Yeah,
so
pretty much. It's somebody's bleeding to death. You do first aid.
I'll just do the other thing, and this time I will not forget to add +2, even though it did not do anything last time. Where is it? Just had it.
All Zarak,
You
you
heal
heal
6 points.
7 points.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it adds +1. You're
Yeah.
correct.
So what's great is I actually still have the same normal amount of hit points. I just have 4 non-lethal.
Yeah. So
Alright.
for every hit point that he healed, you heal a point of non-lethal. So you're back up, and you just have some non-lethal on you. And you come back sort of to him, putting smelling salts under your nose, and just as you look up, you see the big, the Myconid, the huge one, is shaking Dandarin and booming out the word gratitude.
Zarak is gonna sit up very suddenly, and then realizing the situation, kind of lay back down for just a second before rising to her feet.
I
Okay.
feel like the sudden upward motion, Sharut would probably put his hand on the shoulder to calm her down a bit. Be like, "No, you're fine, you're fine."
You good, fam?
We're gonna burn that thing.
Eric, what would Dandarin like to do?
Please set me down if you'd be so kind.
And it does, but it sort of lifts the other hand and pats you very slowly twice on the head, and then you get agreement, and then it sets you on the ground.
Yes, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Look, Myconids aren't common creatures like this. They're not. There's not enclaves of them. They're not furious breeders. They grow like fungus. You can see their young are the little mushrooms around here. It's important that this place is protected.
Yes, I think that would be best. Perhaps I should rebuild the wall and keep this place nice and safe.
I think that's a good idea.
Yes. Although the creature did mention a pile. Yes.
Did
Oh, yes,
mention
there's
a what?
Some bodies over there.
Oh,
And Zarak
yes.
points to the pile. Perhaps we should take the miners and
Yeah.
bring them up to rights.
And you see the large colossus kind of hang its head, and it goes, regrettable.
We understand. We know what happened here.
Ringer is just constantly on the defensive, waiting for it to attack him.
Zarak's gonna just hand out. No, it's talking now. It's fine.
I don't hear shit.
It's the spores. It communicates. If you breed the spores, then they can talk with you.
No.
Tiny,
Then
ugly one, bad thing.
that's
we
why you
killed
can't
tiny,
hear
ugly one.
anything. That's why you've made this decision. All right. Zarak will approach Dandarin and also hand on the shoulder. This is probably an awkward
yes.
moment, but
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just to be clear, while I'm very happy that I've helped out this creature, the reality of it is I very much was just angry at it for hitting my brother.
that's fine. I'll take that. I'm not thinking less of you for having done it. The important thing is that you did the right thing, intentional or not.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. I thought it best if we tried to fight it outside of the he points to the plants that are still receding from the spell.
Zarak is gonna
Trying to be tactical.
Zarak's gonna look at Dandarin and just say, "What?" She was out by the time you decided to run.
Yeah.
Sharut is probably gonna step in and be like, he was very foolhardy in charge. Just kind of
We have to escape. Everyone else seems to be hallucinating.
And he goes,
Heads.
you hear Gruddick go, no, hold on a minute, he wasn't foolhardy, it was tactical. The plants were grabbing us, let's get away from the plants and go back to the cavern. It's just, I knew that I wouldn't be able
to get the high ground and fight the thing.
Yeah, I just knew I wouldn't be able to make it out, and as soon as he ran, Zarak was already out, so, decisions were made. It was tactical, just ill-timed.
As it turned out, once I saw that you weren't going to make it, brother, I knew I'd have to turn around anyway. But, well, you know how it is, seeing the thing hit you. I just let the rage take me a bit.
So you guys are starting to see more.
Brother, we're surrounded. Get the lanterns.
You're starting to see more of these things appear from the back and sort of just move around. Um, there are there are many of them. There's at least 2 dozen. None of them are as big as this one. Uh, Zorak, you notice that the young, the small one, like the one that you nearly plucked, is those are still sort of immobile, but they're moving a bit more now. They're sort of like shaking.
Mhm.
The ones that you guys are seeing are anywhere in size from a halfling or a gnome up to about the size of like a big orc. So they're upwards anywhere from 3 to 7 feet in height. They have all kinds of shapes and sizes to them.
Is this a really sizable group of them, or is this a like?
So
Is
so
there?
this
Yeah.
is a pretty big tribe. Probably one of the biggest that you've ever because you've studied them and you made your roll earlier. This would be about the size of the biggest of tribes.
Lumia, we should leave. They're multiplying, and I don't want to be surrounded in this place.
And Lumio, like you're getting this thing where to the ones that are already uh how do I want to say it, inundated with the spores, you're getting this sort of like gratitude, 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 agreement, gratitude, gratitude, agreement. And to you, Lumio, they're just sort of like coming over to you and they're moving and they're looking at you and it's real awkward. And every now and then one of them will just like poof and like shower a couple of spores out and then look at you again and then poof and shower some spores out.
Would I have heard Zorak's explanation earlier?
Yeah,
That's
but
how
by
you
now
communicate.
I think you would have, yeah.
Then I will allow the spores to be consumed or enter my
Okay. Yeah, so
cell.
once you choose to take on the poison, it kind of like soaks into the woody flesh that you have. It enters a nasal passage that Warforged have for some reason, and a mouth passage that they have for some reason.
Hey, don't
Um,
ask questions you don't want answers to, okay, friend?
and eventually, what you're brought into is almost a hive mind. There's conversations going on, but the conversations are more concepts than actual um, conversations. They are expressing the emotion and the concept of gratitude, and your friends are talking to them in full sentences, and then they are replying usually in a word. Um,
Huh. I will. I'll turn to Ringer and go. This is a most unusual form of communication.
Oh no, they got you too.
He'll be fine.
So
Morbid humor.
yeah, for Zarakt and Sharut, I believe both of you are the ones with the knowledge planes. Can you both give me a knowledge planes roll?
Man, my knowledge planes is shit tonight.
Yeah, you don't get this, but Sharut, you know that if there's this many here, and it's this much of sort of a teeming society, and there's this much power here, this might not be a manifest zone, or it is a manifest zone, but it's possible that there's also a gateway here, which potentially makes this area a manifest zone in general makes this area very valuable, very worthwhile. Manifest zones are an incredible thing, but a gateway to Lamania, typically, if you're in a manifest zone of Lamania, the part of the plane that you're going to will resemble this, so it's probably going to resemble like fungal caverns. Um, there's the potential for value to be found there. There's also the potential for incredible dangers to be found there. But you think that with a society, with a society this size, with this kind of like power that you've seen, with that symbol that you saw back there on the door, this probably isn't just a manifest zone.
So knowing this, Sharut's gonna kind of look around the cavern, kind of like trying to pinpoint it, but big cavern, small dude, probably can't. So he's going to look towards the Milocanth and say, is gateway here to La Mania?
And he raises his hands up, and you hear him. You hear the word "show," and the room starts to glow a bit as some
Oh
of the
shit!
fungus in the room takes on sort of these kind of blue-green tones. And uh, he walks. Oh, he walks over and moves his hand to point right here. Um,
So,
and he says, "Home." Like he points at basically what you're seeing here is it almost looks like a caldera of a volcano,
okay.
except that instead of it being lava flow, what you're seeing is instead water coming out. There's these 5 trickles of water that are going out and then kind of like entering tunnels. It looks like uh, in the rock wall.
Mm.
And some of them are actually like it's weird because it sort of looks like the water is coming out of here, but then it's going down and like climbing up the wall
Okay.
to like functionally it sort of resembles a waterfall, but also it doesn't quite resemble a waterfall. Um, yeah, but he's pointing to the big pool in the middle.
Shar- Sharut looks back towards everybody and he's like, "Oh, not manifest. Gateway." And
Yeah.
he looks to the dwarf. Is like, "Most likely, more danger. Best to reseal. Still, very, very valuable."
This is.
Mm,
We need to contact the druids.
Agreed.
best. Let's do so.
Moreover, I worry about Orgrev.
I've seen
taking
what
this
happens in the
place.
halls.
Yes, if Prince Orgev knew that this resource was here, then he would move to exploit it. I don't trust him to do otherwise with everything going as it is.
Of what
It could be handled
advantage?
well, but it could also be handled very, very poorly. I
Well, it's
think
good that
the
we're-
druids are the better option.
Yes, it's good that we're going back to Alder with this. That's preferable. I think she'll see the importance and understand the action that we need to take.
Of
Hmm.
of what advantage
No,
does
before
this
we
bring
leave, I'll
to
definitely
humans?
at least get the wall repaired a bit. Resources. Resources on a scale that they couldn't hope for otherwise.
So, Sharut, you would probably know this as a historian. The biggest cities of the Dakani Empire, and thus the biggest cities of the human empires, are built on manifest zones. They are almost all built on manifest zones. If you have a manifest zone to Lamania, you typically have something in a near endless supply. You have like food, or you have water, or whatever. Like the air, or sorry, the ground's always going to be fertile. The water's always going to be clean and pure. If you have one to like Fernia, your forges are going to work better and burn out impurities. If you have a manifest zone to Mabar, your dead might be able to walk better. So, like, if you're in Karnath and you build a city on a manifest zone to Mabar, it'll be easy for you to raise undead there.
So this one would probably probably provide game, essentially game or
Game, lumber,
vegetation, food,
vegetation.
lumber.
Yeah, vegetation, lumber. Like it would be a pain in the ass to get to because they would have to like come down here into this space. But if it's valuable enough, it could be worth it. It just sort of depends on what resources could be gathered here and what the cost of gathering them would be. There's manifest zones all over Eberron, and they sort of they do kind of taint the landscape with whatever is on the plane on the other side. Like there's a huge storm in the sea between Zendrick and Eberron. It's kind of like this nightmare ocean called the Thunder Sea, and it's the Thunder Sea because a large part of that ocean is a manifest zone to the endless deep in Lamania. So like it manifested into a hurricane. That's just kind of always a hurricane. But it can also be beneficial. Like there's a shitload of fish there. Like it's very valuable real estate. It's just kind of dangerous sometimes.
All right. Okay. It's good to know.
Okay.
I guess the next thing he would do, is he would probably ask some of the tribe's members if they could help carry the bodies back.
Yeah, the large fungal Hulk looks down and says, "Regrettable agreement." And you see him start like sifting through all the detritus that's there, and you're seeing him move aside bodies of myconids too, and he gathers up these two bodies and starts like he's basically holding. They're small enough that he could hold them both in one hand, but he's holding one in each hand and starts moving forward like at a lumbering pace.
Much
Uh,
appreciated.
and the four that have been dancing around Lumio, uh, saying words like "friend, wood, wood, friend, wood," start following. So yeah, he will gladly like lead you all out to the main portion and sort of place your friends from here. He can probably place your friends on the top.
Yeah. Sure, we'll turn to Zeract. I think we should look further or report back.
We need to
Uh,
get back as soon as possible. The mustering of resources, the additional gathering of. We need to ensure that we beat Orgev's mercenaries here. I'm not sure what timeline he's looking at, but we can't let him have this place.
Have a feeling we should post guard as well.
Dandarin, I have
Case.
an idea. The crystals, they absorb light. Could you work them into the wall that we put together so that it looks, or at least would seem to fool those looking across the abyss to thinking there's nothing on the other side?
May not be beneficial for a tribe to reseal. What
I
if
think-
another one of those, and he points towards the corpse of the child, comes through?
That's why we're bringing this to the druids. They'll ensure that the interlopers or undue influences like this won't take it apart.
I don't know what happened to Dandarin. I'm gonna assume he says yes.
Okay, awesome.
I've been talking this entire time, and my mic was off. Literally the entire time. Yes, that's easy enough to build a wall like that. Break a bridge, no problem. And then leave it to the druids. Yes, I agree.
At this point, Zeract is going to approach one of the clan folk and ask if the bodies of their people were also whether they were victims of the miners or of the creature that was riding their leader.
It says it looks at the body and then looks to you and says, "Parasite."
I feel like burning that would be appropriate, far from this place. Are you in agreement?
It sort of it
Back to the
it
parasite.
looks at you in kind of a weird way and says, "Burn?" Like a question.
Zeract
Let's
is.
not open that can of worms.
We'll take care of the parasite.
Yeah, they're from a layer of the plane that's an endless fungal cavern. They probably don't even know what fire is.
Fine, that's good. Yeah, we got everything's great. I am gonna. Yeah. Okay. Zeract will take possession of the parasite body then.
Okay.
I don't think there's really a point to
Wood.
check the bodies here at all.
No, they're being dragged out anyway.
Yeah, there wouldn't be anything there. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah. Sharut's gonna start heading out.
Sounds good. All right. So Sharut, you're heading out. Lumia, what are you doing?
Seems like everyone has come to an understanding. So it is time to depart.
Okay. So you're going with? And
If
Ringer
the Myconids would let me.
Ringer already left. They're basically just sort of circling around you and touching the fleshy bits between your plates and then touching their own and touching yours and touching their own and going wood and then touching theirs and going wood.
I'm a family, Lumio.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works, but I am not well versed in the construction of Warforged. Who knows where our inception came from?
Pretty sure not from fungus.
That's probably true, but nevertheless, there are similarities here, I think.
One of them starts walking this way, and you see him kind of like dig around in the pile of all the melange of sort of vegetable and animal matter there. And then he starts moving back, carrying something, and it looks to be almost like a round shield in shape, but sort of slightly curved on the top, and then
Hmm.
he kind of hands it out to you, but not sort of to you, but above you. And it's sort of imagine the kind of like sort of like rice farmer hat, and he kind of like sort of sets it on your head, where with a it sort of affixes.
Lumia like bends over and looks in the water at his reflection.
So it looks like you are wearing a sort of a hat that may or may not also be a mushroom cap.
I understand. Lumia will probably wear this as he exits the cavern. And thank you, them.
Okay.
Gratitude.
And they go gratitude, and then they like as you leave, the one in front of you sort of like taps you, like in sort of the bicep area, and then like taps himself, and then looks at the hat, and he just nods, and he goes, "Wood."
Gratitude.
All right,
Lumia
Dandarin,
reports.
as you're walking out, I'm assuming helping Gredick. Gredick starts like climbing back up this little step here, and you see him sort of slip, and his knee hits the ground, and he drops his pick, and he's just sort of kneeled over in the water there for a second, and he's shaking his head, and he looks up at you and goes, "Brother, darn, I don't feel well. I don't feel well at all. I think I'm doing real bad." Eric, if you're talking right now and you don't know you're muted, I'm real sad.
He's probably muted. Yeah, he's muted.
Discord says he's muted.
He said he'd be right back 6 minutes ago.
Ah, goddamn.
Well, let's be real sad while we wait for him to be real sad.
He wants to be right back. I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick.
Yeah, actually, I think now's a pretty good time to take a break because we've been going for about 2 hours.
Okay.
So come back here in about 10 minutes, and yeah.
Works for me.
See you in a minute. Also, ignore the end game talk channel. Just everyone. Nothing to say.
Nani?
We taking a break?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, did anything happen, or is it just?
We're on a
I'm
break.
We're taking a break. I think we're gonna kind of recap what happened after we get back.
Okay. Cool.
Taking a break, Eric.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you multiple times. You know what, Lumio? Just for that, I break your knees.
Glad somebody finally did it.
Jesus, I think that would hit, and I think that would actually break your knees. Max damage. Oh God.
Oh yeah? Well, I just turned my legs into tracks, so who's the real winner here?
Me, because I built the tracks for your legs. It was all part of my plan to make you a battle platform. Stage 1 complete. All right, I gotta go tuck my son, and he just get back out of bed. So I will be back again.
Okay.
Did he say meet back at 9:10 or 9:15?
We like maybe 30 seconds before you showed up, we had gone on break, so 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. No.
Whenever that was.
Sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, you're there.
All right. So as everybody's leaving, you're being escorted out by a bunch of the Myconids, who are honestly mostly just following along beside Lumio and just doing that. Eric, did you hear the other bit that I said before break?
No, I don't believe that I did.
All right. So when you're sort of back here and you're helping Gruddick sort of climb up this little lip here, he trips and he sort of falls to one knee, and he's sort of bent over. His hand actually like comes off the pick, which sort of scatters in the little stream, and he's just kind of just down on all fours, looking into the water, and he goes, "Brother, I don't feel good. I feel real bad.
course, brother. Look at the state of you. But do you need me to carry you?
No, but help me walk. Just help me walk.
I'll just kind of nod somberly and put one of his arms up over my shoulder and kind of hoist him to his feet.
Okay. Yeah, you hoist him to his feet and you start walking. Can you give me a perception check?
Sure. Show me a natural one.
Okay. You guys get to hereish. And you're just kind of like looking around. You notice that like very un-Gruddicky for Gruddick, he's left his pickaxe behind in the water. He's just kind of, you feel like you're sort of more piloting the Gruddick than you are walking beside him. Like he's just going wherever you're leading at this point. And he's just
Don't worry, brother. I'll go back for it. Let's join up with the others. I've got you, brother. Just internalizing as dwarves do.
Yeah.
Any kind of worry I have.
Yeah. I mean, they're basically Irish. You just turn that shit into an ulster and then die of it at the age of 47.
Correct.
Yeah.
Except for dwarves, it's 470. But
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Dwarves would all live to 700 if they'd stop internalizing.
Lumio, as you're sort of getting out here, the Myconid that gave you the cap kind of taps you, like he sort of taps you on the chest again, and it's big. Like it's not necessarily that he's purposely putting force in it, but he has this like huge sort of misshapen stalk arm, and when he goes to put a finger on your chest, his finger is about the size of your palm, so it's just like thump thump, and he goes,
Right.
Wood, and then he points at he kind of like taps the cap, which makes this odd sort of like on your head, and he says, found, and he kind of like not nods to you again, but his body kind of like moves forward and down, and then forward and down again, and then it turns around and it walks back. And so everybody starts leaving, I assume. Zeract, you've got the spiny, thorny body.
I sure do.
Sharut, you've got, I don't know, a goblin gait.
A skip in my step and a song in my heart.
Sounds great.
As they're walking out, Zeract is gonna gush, or at least as much as gushing is to Zeract to Sharut about the whole situation.
So you're just like,
It's pretty neat.
Man, those mushrooms are so cool.
Yeah.
Oh god, I didn't need.
No. Gushing for Zeract, she's like, that was important. We'll need to come back later. And you're like, yes. She's like, very important. It's really critical. And you're like, I get it.
All right.
Sharut, no, found Kate.
So you guys, you all head back to the elevator and then go up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before we get fully up, though, I will, since we did mention it, I'll have them go ahead, actually, to start loading everything into the wagons while I do what I said I would and actually, like, kind of, rebuild the wall a bit.
Sharut.
After going back and grabbing my brother's pickaxe.
So, like, you might be able to block it up a little bit. It would take you a couple of hours to do so. Like, masonry isn't typically a big thing. Isn't typically a quick thing if you have all of the tools needed on hand and available. And right now you don't. You would need to, shape the blocks, get the mortar, all of that stuff. Especially if you're planning to build it out of the Darkenstone. So
in that case, I'll plan a return trip with my tools.
Yeah, like basically you can. This is totally something you can do, but you're saying like, I take a standard action as I leave, and it's like this is going to be a job that takes hours. And, that's with all of the materials.
So I will make the appropriate checks to just kind of plan it then. So basically sketch out, plan my where I'm going to put the wall, so I can think about it on the way back and know exactly what I need to bring.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, and you know that like with the chunks of Darkenstone that you've seen, you won't necessarily be able to like fully build the whole wall, but you might be able to fill the majority of the hole that you see. You would need to either get access to more Darkenstone or somehow make the rock grow or something like that to cover more of it. But you'd be able to patch the hole. Cool.
I could also probably layer it together with other stuff. So,
Yeah.
like, just some kind of dark filler stone.
Yeah.
That the natural properties of the dark stone itself will absorb and hide. So,
Yeah, if you found like some
I plan my obfuscation.
if you found like some obsidian or something and you crushed all of that and then you crushed this, you might be able to make some sort of like concrete out of like the darkened stone and the obsidian or something like that. So, cool. All right. So, everybody goes back up to the top and
Yeah.
let me light up your lives real quick. And that's making things darker, not lighter. Why is it doing this? Wow, why is it doing this? Here you go. Dark. Now light. Okay, so you guys are moving out.
Oh, I will make sure that I am carrying Reddick.
Okay. Yeah, and he basically needs it. I imagine that one of the other people has basically put the bodies into one of the carts and is pushing the cart along the tracks.
Yeah.
Sharut will push the cart.
Cool. And you'll get to the point up here where there's like the barricade.
Sit in the cart.
You'll get to the point up here where there's the barricade that's been put up. And you know that you either have to sort of go around through the pathway or you have to break down the barricade. Or not break it down, but like move it aside.
Leave the barricade for now. I'll help with the rest.
Okay. So you guys decide that you're going to basically take the bodies out of the thing and move it through the hallway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you start moving it all through the hallway, and you hear once you get to about here, you hear the dead. They're all dead.
Zeract will kind of drop the like gently lay the bodies on the floor and still in the dark kind of creep up.
And
I'll make sure that when I get there and once I've made sure Gruddock is in good hands, I'll also make sure to grab the bodies out of this room as well, the ones that were stung.
Okay. Yeah, you see Ringer sort of panicked going, there was a bunch of mushrooms, and the mushrooms came too, and then the mushrooms just started surrounding them and shooting out poison. I got out of there as fast as I could, but everyone else, they're standing around, they're talking to him. The big one gets up, he grabs Dandrin, starts shaking him around. Everyone else is just watching in some kind of trance. There's this little thorny baby that one of them tried to slice apart with an axe. He goes, there were spiders, are scorpions made of crystal, and scorpions made of not crystal. What you've got down there is a goddamn cataclysm just waiting to happen. That's the Devourer speaking to you through a rock. And he looks at you and goes, all right, I might have overestimated.
Maybe just a little bit. Also, telling tall tales. This is unnecessary.
I'd say correct about cataclysm. Death part, yes.
At this point, Zeract will go back and grab the spiny baby and be like, there's a lot down there that you don't want to tangle with. And just bring it up to Tutark. Oh, I'm sorry. I made a...
What?
I meant I would do this thing.
What the hell is that?
This is your new bonfire. And she pours some lantern oil and lights it on fire in the campfire.
Okay. And he goes, burns pretty well.
It's mostly wood.
Well, that makes sense then.
Tutark, when we talked last, you mentioned having a bit of an agreement that I would help you and yours figure out what was going on here.
And you did?
We would agree. Is Dandrin around?
Dandrin is...
I was
he's
sticking
like
around with Gruddock because
he's like bringing Gruddock in.
Okay. Dandrin and I have had a look at the operating books, the ins and outs of this place. You're not paid, are you?
He goes, nope. I mean, we get paid, but we don't get paid in a way that we want to get paid.
Yeah, that was my thought.
He goes, it's sort of...
Sorry, did you hear what I said? My Discord crashed.
Oh, no, I didn't hear what you said. I heard that you were bringing out Gruddock.
Yeah, I said I was bringing out Gruddock, and then I heard you talking about it, and I said, yeah, we know about the chits. It's not right what they've done.
He goes, yeah, but for most of these men, they don't know. We don't have many other options. If you're a hunter, you go hunt. If you're a farmer, you can go farm. There's no port here. If you he goes, I worked on simple machinery, cranes mostly, and the rest of my men just laborers, stevedores. All they've got is the muscle in their arm and in their back. Mining's about all they can do. It's not skilled labor, but it's all they got.
That's nonsense. All labor is skilled.
And he goes, I really want to agree with you, but some of these men are... I've seen people using the wrong side of a pickaxe.
I
Yes.
Did you start out being able to walk and talk?
I
Takes
don't want to
time.
be insulted by that, but
So we're getting better. And he goes, Tynan even had he had a gem that he won in a game of Carrick that would float around his head. Gave him a bit of insight into the rock. But the rest of us are just learning as we go. Like Seer had mines, but most of Seer's mines were in what's now Dargoon.
Mhm.
Uh,
Do you mean this stone? And I'll pull out the ion stone for him.
and he goes, aye, that's the one. Gives him he said it sort of whispered to him sometimes, would tell him where he should hit, and he got bigger hauls than everyone else.
Did he have any? Did he have any family?
A young boy, I think, a young girl, maybe a boyish girl.
Maybe a girlish boy. Well, either way,
With humans, it's hard to tell.
Mm.
They don't have a beard and they're not big in the chest. It's really hard to tell.
it's a coin toss, really. I understand.
That man was so big in the chest, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
Well, it's the child's now, I suppose. I'll make sure that they get it.
And moreover, per our agreement, I'll see what I can do to get the residents of Clawtown and those who are interested to assist. The Dandarin, is it too much to ask that you maybe call in someone with experience to run these few through their paces? And also, we'll need to know
no trouble.
who your overseers were, who was authorizing the use of the chits, and educate them as to the new situation here.
Well, it was mostly Hampton. Hampton's the one what was placed in charge of the mine. He wasn't an overseer. I'm the only overseer here, but he's the one that approves the books and sends the chits to be handed out. The one that set up the store too. So yeah, that's all Hampton. I spoke once to Western Essex. Seemed like a nice enough man. He was concerned for our safety, asked if we had seen anything up in the mountains coming down our way. He seemed more concerned for the safety of the town than the safety of the mine, but he lives in the town and not the mine, so that makes sense. But them's all that I've talked to about the mine, really. Most other people don't really care who quarries the stone.
Well, we'll see what we can do to reverse this situation to make it more equitable. If nothing else, it serves both Clawtown and your own interests, which hopefully is good for all the rest of us. Like I said, we run together or we don't.
Do let me know what you find out. If this is handled now, I might end up taking a walk back to town, let my men know that it's done. But if it's not, I can just hang out for a few more days, keep myself occupied.
My suggestion would be to warn away for the time being. There's some construction that need to be done to repair the wall that was taken down, and to ensure that it's harder to do so in the future. Ideally, you should avoid that area for now, but we'll be in contact again. And in the interim, if others come looking, asking around, let them know. Actually, we can drag some of the scorpion bodies out front. You'll be able to give them an idea of what resided inside the mine. Let them know that it may not yet be resolved.
Right. I can do that. I can just keep camping out here then.
Do you need any food? I have some extra rations, some lantern oil, if it helps keep the nights from getting too dark.
And he goes, no, I was able to use one of the ballista to take out a deer a few days ago. I'm good for meat and good for water thanks to the us having filled the barrels from that pool. So I right now I'm just and he kind of points to this area over here. He goes, right now I'm just camping under there. So I can just I can keep that going for a few more days.
Excellent. Well, we should be back before too long then.
Yeah, and the men told me that they won't be coming back until I sent for them. So, It's my first responsibility is their safety, so I have to make sure that they're safe.
Indeed.
Random question.
Yeah, what's up?
Does he appear strangely larger than the other two dwarves in our party?
I've got a different token for him. He's
No,
not
no,
he.
this more of a
Oh,
story question, I think.
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, he does not.
Okay.
He does not appear larger or anything like that. He's still normal dwarf sized. He if anything, he seems the same height, but he is less well built than Dandarin and definitely less well built than Gruddock.
Okay.
Like Gruddock is like beefy as shit. So he told you like before this he was a craftsman. He built cranes. So he's not actually used to. I put my back into my work for 8 hours a day. So anything that you lot want to do here before you start heading back out?
Just make sure we'll do a once over. Make sure we've got everything.
Okay. And
I
oh,
I
go
just
ahead,
have
Noah.
stuff I want to do on the way back to town.
Gotcha. Tutark will also check out the people and go like, well, it's good that you found some. These are them what was missing, so that's good at least. But it calls out a few new nightmares, 'cause then them what was killed probably we ain't gonna find them. Might have been drug off by all manner of cave beasties. And he sort of goes through the bodies and gives you the names of each, in case you need to speak to people in town to have them like identify remains or something like that. The bodies of the people that that were at the base of the mushroom are very, very desiccated in comparison to the other two. Like they look like they've been dead for like weeks, and compared to the other two, who look like they've been dead for like a couple of days.
Like they were being used as nutrients for soil.
Yeah, pretty much. And but yeah, he gives you the names, and he points to one of the ones that you found in the manifest zone, and he goes, it's a human, and he goes, that's Tynan right there. It was his family. If you want to deliver his rock, it's his family. What you should take it to.
Tynan, got it.
He told me his tyke's name was once. It was Alan? No, Elaine? Elena? Elena, he said. So if you want to, I don't know where he lived or what they look like, but it's a weird Siren name. Shouldn't be that many of them.
Make sure we find him. I'll make sure I write it down.
Okay. Yeah, and he'll help you like get them into the wagon. And yeah, is anybody doing anything else before you guys leave?
I will basically tell everyone else, hey, I'll catch up. So after they leave, I'll talk to Tutark alone.
Okay. So I imagine
He needs to study the face he's going to steal.
No.
all right, what are you saying to Tutark?
So go along with whatever they said, but understand that they may have been brainwashed by mushrooms.
Right. And he goes, the Warforged was wearing a mushroom hat that he didn't have when he went downstairs.
See what I mean? He's just like nodding emphatically like a conspiracy theorist.
He's like, I'll keep an eye open.
Good idea. Maybe avoid eating too many mushrooms while you're down here.
What am I supposed to eat with the deer?
I got rations here.
All right. Instead of sweet, delicious mushrooms, I'll take hardtack and box butter.
Sorry, man. Like, I'm just trying to look out for you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Damn
Like,
world's taking
unless-
everything else
unless
from me. Might as well
Like,
lose
unless you brought
mushrooms
the
too.
mushrooms from somewhere else, that's fine. I'd be okay with that. I suspect.
And he's like, yeah, no, I've just got a barrel of pickled shrooms over there.
Yeah, I'd be leery. I mean, try it out, see what happens. But
He's like, I'm
You
not gonna try it. Then I'm gonna be mind controlled.
Exactly. You should be very careful. Boil them or something.
All right.
Boiling is what takes care of mind control.
Yeah.
Yep, 100% all the time.
Ringer
That's what-
doesn't know shit about fuck.
We know this.
That's what happens whenever somebody gets mind controlled. You just boil them for a bit, and they're good to go.
That might work.
That's why they
So-
have to boil lobsters before you eat them, because if you don't, you'll just be mind controlled.
Lobster, yeah, the lobster like hegemony is some serious shit. Just taking control of everything.
We don't know what you're talking about. Oh shit! I said we.
I'm the
Okay.
only one who managed to escape that somehow. They somehow got Lumio, which I'm very suspect about.
Okay.
I'm gonna go see a real doctor and not the goblin before I get back.
They somehow got Lumio. Okay, so everybody else, you're all out of here, and we're gonna basically go on the road, but backwards. So, yeah, I imagine we got the brothers in front again. Is anybody riding in the back with all the bodies?
I'm riding with the weasels.
I mean, the weasels are small. You can put them in a bag.
Yeah, I'd made a little nest for them in the back.
Okay, cool.
I suppose if Gruddock doesn't need tending, Sharut would probably be kind of doing an autopsy on the bodies.
Gruddock, give me a heal check, Sharut.
Because, like, just with the way he was walking, he doesn't look great, but Sharut knows that he can't really do more with that spike in him. We'll check.
It almost looks like what you're sort of seeing is kind of the physical manifestation of a thing that you've probably encountered as like a mental problem that somebody has. He looks almost like he's in shock. Like his eyes are open and he's kind of like slowly turning his head to take the world in around him, but you don't think he actually is. And so he's just kind of like sitting up front with Dandarin, just sort of like looking around real slow like.
I wonder if it could just be like something in the spike is getting into his blood system.
Maybe.
Bugger.
Yeah, that's it. Bugger him.
It's not my job.
You've done what?
Fuck him. That'll learn him.
I did have one thing I wanted to do on the way back.
Okay,
I
what's
wanted
that?
to make a salve and then apply said salve to Ringer, and then I also had a question.
Ringer will absolutely stay away from you.
Sharut have healed before, yes?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll be fine. Not to worry about me.
You look, what is word? Like feces.
Crap.
Feces, yes.
It's a scratch. Don't worry about it.
He says,
It's-
pointing to the very, very large scratch.
It's still bleeding. Lots.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's how it heals.
Take self. Take.
How do I fake taking this cell?
You don't, you just apply it.
Yeah, I don't think you really can.
I have to make it first.
How do I
though.
try?
Sleight of hand check?
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Son of a bitch. All right.
Oh yeah, feels so much better. Thanks.
Yeah, he dips his hand into the jar and he pulls out a bunch of it and he sort of like rubs it along his stomach and you see the wound just kind of close. And he goes, "Yep, it's closed. You just made the illusion of your wound closing there, Ringer. It probably hurts to manipulate open
Oh,
wounded
immensely.
flesh
It's
like that."
extremely painful.
Yeah, and you're just like, still smiling.
All right. Well, with that done, I did have some story questions. With
Yeah, what's up?
what we know about the Lamagna,
Yeah.
right? Would it be fair to say that the reason we're seeing larger animals is that they might be drinking that runoff, and it might be having that effect on them?
Possibly. You would have to study it further. Like it's definitely a possibility. But it's not at all guaranteed. You might have been seeing larger animals because there was a big boar and some giant weasels around. Those are both animals that exist. Like people in Undare and Thrain fly giant eagles, giant owls. Like large animals are a thing. So
Yeah, I just remember you noting that they were just odd for the region.
the sheer scope of the boar was odd. Yeah. It was like this huge, like 900-pound monster. But it's not necessarily supernaturally huge. So like what you're suggesting is a possibility. It's not a guarantee.
Okay.
Cool. So you guys go back and start driving away. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Dandarin, are you the one driving?
I suppose I have to be.
All right. Well, uh, let me take Grudek and make Grudek an appropriate size. Then take Dandarin and make Dandarin an obnoxious size.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys are heading out on the road, trying to get back, and as you're getting to about here, can everybody give me a first of all, who's in the wagon again? Real quick.
Correct.
Zarek,
So
you're
is
in the
Sharut.
wagon. Okay, and Sharut, you're in the wagon. Okay, so
Yeah, 'cause
Lumio,
he's dirty bodies.
Ringer, and Dandarin, please all give me a perception check.
Any penalties or bonuses?
Woo! My 112th 3 of the night.
Yeah, that is awkward. uh, okay, so Ringer and Dandarin, you see a small trail of smoke coming from the rise. It's
Is that the direction of New Seer?
I think it means this thing up here.
yeah, from I'm
Oh.
I'm saying from this.
Oh,
No, New Seer is another 5 to 6 miles up this road. I'm saying that you see it coming from up here. You're not really smelling it because the wind is sort of carrying it away from you. But you can sort of see the little trail of it. As you're sort of doing your driving thing.
there's a fire on the hill.
Fire.
I'll just pat Grudek's shoulder as we keep driving along. Does anyone want to? We're not going particularly fast. Does anyone want to swing up there and see if perhaps they're friendly? Might be they have a healer.
Sharut kind of peeks his head out of the
As well
wagon.
as Zeract. She knows roughly where we are, so
Yeah.
she's already kind of scouting the spot.
Yeah, and the two of you can see the same sort of fire. Well, you can't see the fire. You can see the smoke kind of up on the hill, with the trail of it kind of going away from you. It's basically heading this way.
All right.
Best to check.
Yes, we wouldn't want to be surprised. There was a path over this way the last time we were here. And Zeract will move up to the path. And she'll try and do it quietly.
Okay. Lumio, Ringer, either of you going up to?
I have no desire to.
Okay.
The possibility of danger and being away from the group, not a great idea for Lumia.
Sense motive to figure out which would be the least suspicious thing for me to do against these brainwashed people, so they don't suspect that I suspect them.
Sure.
Oh my god.
Well, what Ringer did last time you were on this road is let Sharut and Zarak go up alone.
It's a good idea. That's what I'll do.
All right, sounds good. We'll never suspect a thing.
Exactly.
I'll make a stealth check, I suppose, and lead the way.
Okay, sounds good. Roll it. Are you actually leading the way, or is Zarak just walking behind you non-stealthily?
I will lead the way.
No,
'cause
he's
that's-
leading.
I'm
Okay.
stealthy.
Yeah. Once you get to about this spot right here,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
can
sorry.
actually see what it is. And here's basically what you see. You see another wagon. See that wagon right there?
Yeah, that
Oh
wagon.
yeah, wagon.
Yeah. And you see the wagon looks like it has been attacked. You see arrows and javelins sticking into the wood. You also see a number of bodies around this thing. Most of them sort of piled over here.
Okay.
The wagon has been pushed onto its side and is currently the thing that's on fire. You're noticing that as you get up here, there's a lot more fire coming from, a lot more smoke coming from this that you would see from a simple campfire. And when you get up to the top, you sort of realize why. It's A big fire.
Can I? Do the javelins and the weapons used in the attack look strange or identifying at all? Like, do they have any identifying characteristics, or are they just like?
Give me a knowledge local. Are you getting any closer to it, or are you examining it from there?
I can get closer, I think.
Because
but
like you are at this point about 50 feet away,
Okay. I'm gonna do.
so that you understand your distance.
Yeah, I'm gonna move up there, do an active perception check
Okay.
to make sure the coast is clear.
Yeah.
Which is not great, but it's clear anyway. And I'm gonna move up there to examine.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then give me the knowledge local.
Okay. Knowledge local. Oh, come on.
Zeract also moves up and just kind of where she last saw Sharut, but
Yeah.
it doesn't move from that spot because she doesn't quite know where he went from here.
Okay. Sharut, what you're seeing is basically you're seeing long, sort of flexible wooden poles that have sort of pounded pig iron, jagged metal edges, and feathers from the end that aren't used as fletching so much as they're used as decoration, and then some sort of like spiral scrimshaw carved bones that are more used as the fletching, the spin. The axes are much the same. The blades look to be mostly sort of cold forged iron. Just like we're gonna hammer this metal until it makes a blade. Yeah, the you do notice though as you're getting up there with your perception check, you see a number of people. There are 4 people here. It is 3 humans and 1 Korovar, and you see one body of honestly, I'm not even gonna make you really roll for it. It's 7.5 feet tall. It is 450 pounds of fur-covered muscle. It is a bugbear.
Okay. So I can probably, just being from where I'm from, I could probably just guess that this tribe was probably raided by a hobgoblin tribe, or this wagon was probably raided by a hobgoblin tribe.
Well, considering that you see a bugbear body,
Yeah,
it's probably
that's
raided by a bugbear tribe.
Oh, bugbear tribe, specifically a bugbear tribe.
Yeah.
Because I figured they'd be living with other goblinoids.
It depends.
You know,
Okay.
how bugbears are so very, very goblin-like.
Well, they're the berserkers.
Yeah, they're still goblinoids.
They're still goblinoids. All right, Shrewd's gonna run back over here. Were those people were all dead, right? Just deads.
You
No
got within
survivors.
30 feet.
Shrewd is gonna run back and inform Zeract. Appears wagon was attacked by bugbears, and he's gonna motion him forward because he thinks it's safe to investigate further to see if there's
Okay.
anything to salvage from the wagon or from people, maybe, and maybe put them to rest.
Okay.
At that point, Zeract is going to mention Sharut, standing out as you do. It may be best if both of us approach openly and declare intentions from a ways away.
Perhaps.
So Zeract is going to climb up on this rock. He's just going to stand up and like wave arms over her head and say, "Ho, the camp! It looks like you're in a spot of trouble."
You get no response.
Doesn't look like fared well in attack.
Well, let's see if we can help these people. And Zeract is going to slowly start moving forward.
Okay. Yeah, you tell me where you stop. Like you are not being impeded at all.
Right about here.
Okay. You get to here, and same thing. You see 4 non-bugbears, and you see 1 bugbear that are all on the ground. The bugbear and one of the humans are over here. 2 other humans are over here, and then a human and a Korovar are right here.
Zeract is gonna circle the outside of the stones, wary that this might be an ambush.
Okay.
I can't really do a heal check at a distance, can I?
No.
We're gonna sneak up right there.
At some point, you have to get off the pot.
Yeah. I kind of want to grab the others because
if there's like Does the wagon look like it can contain anything from this vantage point?
Once you
Like-
get around to the back, it looks like the wagon's been well and truly emptied. This isn't a covered wagon like the other one, so once you get around to the where you can see it, it looks like the wagon does not any longer have any sort of supplies on it. No crates of any sort. It was just an open wagon that has been emptied and then set on its side and lit a fire.
All right, sure. Let's do this thing then. And Zorak will move to the human and the Korvar.
Okay, so you go to the human in the Corvar.
Yep.
Give me a hill check.
Alrighty. Skibidi-boo. Where is that button?
These people are both still alive. It looks like the Corvar, she took a really bad blow to the thigh from a javelin, and then it looks like her head got smashed against something, but she's still alive. The human looks like he took an axe, like a thrown hatchet, to the looks like the upper shoulder, and then once again something smashed his head, but he's still up. He doesn't have the hatchet on him anymore. It's like neither of them have the weapons in them. They've been hit and now they're unconscious.
Get others. We'll need help. Are they stabilized?
You mean like are they bleeding to death? No.
Yes. Okay. In that case,
Zorak will start to.
because it takes me about 30 minutes to make the salve.
Yeah.
And that would be preferable to using a thing of healer's kit, because the salve doesn't cost any money.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do
so the
that
thing
if-
is that they're unconscious. Like if you just take care of them, they'll wake up eventually.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I
this-
don't want to do that. I don't want to do any of that if anybody in the area is in immediate danger. So knowing that those two are alive and unconscious and they seem to be in a stable state, Sharut will probably move on to. There was a human over here.
There's a human and the bugbear over here.
We're gonna save the bugbear for last. And there was something over here.
There's two humans over there.
Okay, Sharut's gonna check out.
All right, he'll check. They are both alive.
Okay.
They have both had sort of they both clearly have like severe head trauma. You imagine that there's some broken orbital bones in there, but they are both alive.
All right. The bugbear with the very sneaking suspicion that he's gonna have to bolt.
Okay. So the
Okay.
bugbear and the human are like right next to each other. Yeah.
Bugbear. Here we go.
The bugbear, very very dead.
Oh, thank goodness.
The bugbear looks so you can't really see it because of the odd angle that he's at, but once you roll him over, you realize that this guy has a it almost looks like he's sort of stuck on it, and then when you roll him over, you realize that this guy has an entire longsword up to the hilt in his gut.
Sharut really had to push to get him to roll over.
Yeah.
All right, the human then.
Yeah, I mean with your roll, you don't even need to roll again. The human also super dead. You see a variety of wounds to him. It is mostly like sort of axe wounds. You also see a sort of a trio of wounds in a line that would suggest some sort of trident or just very good accuracy with a dagger. But yeah, and judging by the way that the human is wearing kind of a longsword scabbard in the belt, you kind of assume that it's the human's longsword in the bugbear.
Okay. Sharut will check his pockets for anything and everything, but specifically looking for ident papers.
Yes, he does have a set of identification papers.
Oh, wonderful.
And here is his name. Hold on. I have to make sure that I'm spelling this right, and I don't think that I am. Oh, I am spelling it.
Can I do a knowledge local check on that name?
Knowledge nobility works better here if you have it.
Let me check. I don't think that's one of the ones I have, but I will check.
Like, if you don't, you can do knowledge local. You won't get any of the specifics.
Yeah, I do not have knowledge nobility.
Okay.
I can't make that untrained. So
You can give me the knowledge local, and I'll just apply a penalty to the roll.
well, didn't get it anyway.
You have no idea.
Man, cannot roll knowledge local today.
You guys have had shit rolls all night, and it makes me sad.
Makes you sad. Makes me sad.
Is there anything else of important worth on this person?
I mean, he's a member of the house, so he's got some like you see like he's got some mail on him. He's well equipped in general. Looks to be fairly young too. You would put him at only like 20 to 22 human wise. Strong jaw, chiseled features, sort of like short hair that's very like short on the sides and a little bit longer on top, sort of in the Carnathy style of everything has to be utilitarian.
Okay.
But yeah, in general, like if you're going like I'm gonna steal the rings from the corpse, you can do that. Like he has them. He looks
No, more like potions, stuff that he can use.
oh
Not so much like.
Yeah, I mean if you're like pawing over the body, you can find a pouch that has a pair of potions in it, like little vials. Sorry, the way that you were talking was like, and then I rob him of his teeth and his necklace. It's like,
No.
all right, you got
like,
2 gold teeth. They're yours.
Sorry, that's not what I was going for. I was going for more like, he's dead. He can't really use the potions anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just take those.
Okay.
And I can use alchemy to identify a liquid, right?
I'll say yes. Sure. Go ahead and roll it. So the first is a potion of cure light wounds.
Wonderful.
And next one, is a potion of shield.
All right. Sharut is just going to pocket those.
Okay. You have those 2 things
for later usage. And then he's going to go over here and kind of. Oh, sorry. Oh, it
okay.
collided with the wall.
Hold on. I'm gonna cut to Zeract, who was running over to the thing. So Zeract, what are you doing?
I run back to the wagon and I say, "It looks like there's members of an ambush. We should pull the wagon aside and see if we can get some of them back to health." Shrewd is checking to see if any of them are still alive, but there are quite a few laid out. Is Eric muted?
Not on Discord, no.
Oh, sorry, I was just ready in my role as the cart.
That's fair. Yeah.
What's this then? What's happened?
It looks like there was some sort of ambush. A wagon up. The fire that we're seeing is the result of a wagon that's been overturned and set alight. There's a few bodies left, but Shrewd is tending to them to see if they're revivable.
All right. Could you tell what happened? What kind of an ambush it was? Was it bandits? A beast of some kind?
I couldn't say. It's Shrewd had the closer look and decided to step in and check. So regardless, if there are survivors, we could bring the wagon around so that we can bring them with us.
Yes. I'll get us turned around, and then I'll start getting the wagon ready to get us closer.
Okay. Can you go ahead and give me a profession driver test?
Would you mean a ride test?
No, because
I don't have either.
For this.
I
mean, I know you don't have either. Neither did your brother. You guys brought the wagon.
Correct.
It is handle animal or profession driver. It's your choice.
I mean, this makes sense. They can just repair it if they break it.
Oh, it's been broken lots of times.
You see that Nick there? Drove it off a Kareen.
All right. Go ahead and roll for me. Cool. Yeah. So you start going. Let me make sure that I'm just grabbing the people that are in this, because I don't think Lumio is actually in the wagon. So, and then I'm gonna say that you're coming up to here. So weird how they very slowly go that way. Cool. Yeah, Denrin, you go up there, and then basically it's a very awkward ride for a wagon.
Look at us move now.
Because you're kind of coming up you don't go out far enough to like loop it around. So you're coming up at like a weird angle, and there's a point where you get to about here, and you see Gruddock just kind of roll out of his chair and hit the ground.
Good luck, everyone. I hop out and go check on him.
All right, and the wagon just kind of no, and not a woe was given.
Zerect will jump up and, burning a use of her ability to speak to animals, will tell the donkeys in their own language, "Please stop now."
Give me a donkey diplomacy there, sir.
Mhm.
Hot donkey diplomacy
Best
action.
kind of diplomacy.
God damn it.
They stop.
Thank you.
What does that sound like?
Shrek goes up to them and goes, "Nay," and then says, "Burro," and then
Yeah.
that's it.
Pretty much.
He speaks your language.
Stop, donkey.
Yeah, and you, Dandrin, when you're looking at your brother, it looks like he smacked his head a little bit. But you're looking at him and he's just like, he looks pale. He's kind of clammy. He's got this sheen of sweat across his forehead. As you're holding him, he clearly doesn't know where he is. He's like his hands are shaking, and he's like, "Well,
Brother, I need you to stay with me.
well, I won't tell him. It's fine. It's fine. Just you gotta." And then he's just kind of like goes into not so much talking as just making sounds again. So to everybody else who's up there, yeah, you see the scene that I described before.
Sure to put any of them alive.
Sharut points to the ones that are alive and then holds up the ident papers for the one that is dead. This for one next to Bugbear did not make it. And you can see that as he's talking and pointing, he's not really looking up from what he's doing. He's just doing like basic first aid, like cleaning up the cuts on some of the people that are injured and are unconscious.
Right. Zerect doesn't really know who the fuck this guy is and probably doesn't care. But we'll take the papers and look it over anyway. What was the name on this again?
His name is
Iriden.
Yeah, it was
Iriden. Daenerys. Yeah, Iriden.
Yeah. Iriden Daenerys.
Daenerys, yeah.
The first name, I don't know if you've ever heard of him. The first name doesn't really mean much, but the second name does.
It means he's in the house.
It means he's in the house. Whether he's marked or not, he's in the house.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, are any of you doing anything specific up here with the body? I know that you're doing first aid on them and sort of like just making sure that they're not going to bleed to death. Anyone else doing anything?
Ringer is furiously writing notes about how the donkeys are sadly now infected.
Mm-hmm. So, Ringer's a monstrous mic level idiot. Gotcha.
Recognizing, like, I assume that House Deneth's thing that they do is reasonably well known.
Yes.
Okay.
They are the premier mercenary force across all of Corvair.
Right. I figured that's like asking, hey, what does Pepsi do?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, Zerect is going to assume that these may have been the mercenaries that Orgev sent out. In which case, bringing them back is double benefit, which is awesome. And so she's going to try and separate the wagon into bodies for bringing home and like lay, I don't know if there's an extra tarp or something like that over them so that they're separate, decidedly separate.
So you're not leaving the corpses with the people?
Right. And then bringing the people inside and setting them up to try and be comfortable, using her cloak as a pillow.
Yeah, that's
when
fine.
She lays them down. Yeah. So that when their first experience on awakening may be, oh my God, there's bodies here, but then it's like, they wrapped me, I'm warm, I'm not uncomfortable other than the fact that it's a wagon.
Yeah.
Oh no, they've wrapped me in the death wraps. I'm in the linens. They were going for my organs.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. There's no problem there at all.
Cool.
All right. So Ringer's taking copious notes on how the donkeys will now turn into mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Lumio's hanging out. Dandrin, you kind of get Grudek back up and sort of in the wagon. And Sharut is tending to everybody. So sounds like that's it.
I feel like at this point too, Sharut would kind of insist that Dandrin also lay in the back of the wagon.
You mean
so
Grudek?
he can Grudek, sorry. Yes, Grudek. So he can actively treat him because of the people that are here right now. He's probably the one in the worst shape.
Yeah, somehow that is actually true.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he won't fight it. Somebody basically needs to put him back there, but he'll just lay there if you lay him down. So, yeah, and cool. So you guys head back home.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. And after about an hour or so, you come back to the road that you were on before, through the woods, and you've got your. It moves so slow. It's so weird. Doot. Okay, and you've got your wagon going up. It's it's honestly a fairly peaceful sort of ride here. You're not necessarily seeing much to be concerned about. The only real source of any combat or anything hiding that any of you were able to really put eyes on are the combat that you had over here.
Yeah, that makes
That was pretty bloody. One of you smashed a bunch of people and weasels together until they sort of exploded, and another one of you had a weasel sort of like try to rip open your jugular and sup at the blood. So that was an experience. But yeah,
Yeah, I think we can all agree Ringer has had quite the day.
Ringer has had probably the worst day. Like, actually, no, sorry. Yeah, I would say that Grudek has had the worst day, but Ringer is like close in contention.
A very close second.
Sharut,
Yes.
can you give me a heal check?
Yes, I can.
So when you guys get to about here,
Okay.
towards the top of the map, Grudek starts to violently seize up, and he's just kind of like shaking. But it looks like his muscles, his joints are locked, and he's just.
Is he having a seizure?
It looks like it, yeah. And you manage to sort of like coax him through it as much as you can, right? Like there's not a ton you can do. But you do the thing where like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure that he doesn't like choke on his own vomit or whatever. But you get him through it. But you know that you guys are getting to the point where time is of the essence.
Okay. At that point, Sharut, after that's taken care of, he's gonna peek his head through the front of the wagon and say to Dandarin, "We must make haste. Your brother not doing well.
I know.
Probably should make wagon go faster." Like he's.
Good luck, everyone.
It's fucking amazing. Well, good luck.
They continue at a pace.
It is. I mean, you like, yeah, and they kind of like, and they just sort of do the things that donkeys do. They might like, yeah, for about 30 feet, and then they're just back to being slow. They're donkeys. They're moving at donkey pace. And yeah, also the size, the load they're carrying has dramatically increased from the load they carried out. Because now they have 8 additional people in the back of the wagon. So yeah, they are. You are unable to get them to provide any additional speed there, Dander.
Yep.
So it is around this point when you guys all sort of pull in to just east of the 310s district of New Seer. And I think that's going to be a good place to start for the night. So,
all right.
We'll get to all of the fun sort of fair and festival shenanigans next time.
Ah, yes, where everyone's dying and screaming, and there's a horrible Eldritch abomination being summoned.
Hey, not during the first fair. Probably like the second fair, though. Yeah. I wouldn't do that during the
definitely gonna
first
be by
fair.
the third
I
fair.
mean, what kind of
Yeah.
fair would that be?
During the
The
first
second-
fair, you just dropped the hints of the Eldritch Abomination yet to come. You drop
The
the
second
actual
fair-
Eldritch Abomination during prom.
That's
Ah,
pretty-
yes,
that's- yeah.
The second fair, you have, you take out the cultists, and then the
I do-
third fair, that's
I
when
do have. Yeah, right. That's when it's real. But if you beat the Eldritch Abomination in the second fair, you get a slightly alternate ending because you're like, oh, I guess the threat wasn't that big after all. That was one of the funniest Chrono Trigger endings. It's like
Yeah.
you overgrind and you just kill him right off the bat, and you're like, was that it? Was that? I don't see what the fuss was about.
Right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I do want to thank everybody for watching. We'll be back again next week. And
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yes, we will bring bats for everyone. Both
Oh,
the
sweet.
living version and the kind that's made of wood. And
And
yeah,
remember, my name is Tutark.
yes, always remember Tutark. He will live on in us forever. But so will the mushrooms. So,
Like and smoosh that subscribe button.